I think that allowing for the book being, after all, a parody, something like 1984 could actually happen. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Breaking the Narrative, and I have my guest here tonight with me for the first time, and also the first guest of 2024. It is Steph, the Altar Nerd. What's going on, Steph?
Hey up, everyone. Hey up, Nina. Thank you so much for inviting me on. Looking forward to our little chin wag, but I'm not doing too bad. How about you?
I'm doing good. Did you have a good New Year's and holidays and all that good stuff? The celebrations.
So wonderful. So wonderful. Yes.
Awesome.
Enjoying
Were you like
life.
in
How about
England?
you?
Mine was good. Were you in England for yours, or did you go somewhere special?
So just before Christmas, I went over to Italy to my second home to see my family, and then I spent Christmas and New Year's in England.
Nice. Ooh, Italy is so lovely. Whereabouts in Italy are you, or do you reside in your second home?
I don't like to say specifically.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Only because, for the safety of my family and whatnot.
Sure.
Because people on the internet, some of you
Of
guys are crazy,
course.
so not happening.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Years
do.
ago, I went to Italy, like Rome, and I went to like all over, like, you kind of travel like all over the place because the train you can take everywhere. And I think my favorite city is Verona because they have that still intact Colosseum there. It's like a little one, like a mini Colosseum. So like I just love Italy. Italy is just such a beautiful place. But I've never been to Sicily, which is like the mob part. I never went to like south of Italy. I just, traveled the north of Italy. And now after playing Mafia, which I've been playing recently, and watching The Godfather again and all this stuff, I'm like, now I just want to go to Sicily and like, just hang out with the mob in mob territory. But we're not going to talk about Italy much tonight. We're going to be talking about the royals because that is what you do. So, Steph, before we get into everything, please, for the audience that doesn't know you, explain who you are, introduce yourself, and let them know what your channel is about.
All right, well, I'm Steph the Altar Nerd. I'm a gobby lass from Yorkshire. I give you the nerdy alternative on all things on royal news and gossip, specifically my two favourite people in the whole wide world, Hazza and Megzi, otherwise known as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the gruesome twosome. And yeah, just report on their antics and expose them for the grifters and opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, the liars that they are, essentially. So yeah, that's what I do on my channel over on Steph the Altar Nerd.
Amazing. I just watched your video of Oh my God, I don't even know who it was. The older lady that was going off at Meghan Markle. Who was she? Princess? She was some sort of older royal lady, and she was like saying like how Meghan Markle is like an amoeba. She's like worse than an
Let me
amoeba.
see. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So there is another YouTuber. I'm from what's called the Megxit community.
Mm.
Um, and Lady C is part of that. Now, she is actually part of, the royal gentry, the royal family. And she lives in Castle Goring. She has her own YouTube channel, and there was this one part that went viral where she had this massive rant against Meghan and said all this stuff, her mouth is dirtier than you're on my anus and all this lot, right? And as I was watching this rant live over on Popcorn Planet, which I'm also involved with as well behind the scenes with Andy Signal there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, we were watching it there. And I just turned around and just put it out in universe. I was like, someone needs to grab that portion and put it to a track.
Mm.
And Andy's my big brother, but there's also another big brother called Lewis over on Nerd Report, and he heard what I said, and he's also a DJ. So he took that segment and he put it to music.
No
And
way.
Brandon Torres in the background to do the video, and then I uploaded it to my channel, and yeah, you guys can listen to that. It's funny as hell.
Oh my God, I didn't hear the music part. I just heard your reaction to it. Now I want to go
My
watch the
goodness.
music part.
Yeah, it's put to music and everything. You're gonna laugh your tits off, love. I'm
Oh
telling
my
you.
God, that is incredible. I'm so excited to go watch that. Zand Z, thank you for the $1.99. Says we need Steph and Disparu stream more accents. Do you know who Disparu is?
No, I was just about to ask, who is Disparu?
He's like this, I think he's from the same place as you are because he has the same accent. But he's more of a nerd. Like he's not an alter nerd. He's like a nerd that talks about like Lord of the Rings and like pop culture and like things like that. And he's known as Disparu on YouTube and on Twitter. So he's funny. He's a funny guy, but he's got the same accent. So I guess people want the same kind of accents as you know.
Sounds like he's from Yorkshire too, then.
I think so, yeah. You know what it is I think there's a fascination. There's always been a fascination with British accents. I mean, I have it, because I'm from Canada. So, I mean, we're kinda like common law, the
Yeah.
Commonwealth and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Um, but, the Americans, they've always had this thing with British accents, and, like, I love your accent, so when I talk like, when I was, like, listening to you, I was like, "I just love listening to her because it's just so great." But I know you guys don't understand it because, like, you're in your body and you don't hear it because you're less you just it sounds normal to you 'cause you're like, "I'm just talking." Like, I don't get it. But it is
Just the sound that comes out of me gob, Nina. That's all it is, to be fair. But it's funny you say that because when I first started out on YouTube, oh my goodness, the amount of people that were like, "We don't understand you. Speak properly." It's like, dudettes, it's the sound that comes out of me gob, right? There's nothing I can do about it. It's a proper Yorkshire accent. It's part of my identity. The last thing I'm gonna do is talk like a posh twat from down that
I
you
just
guys
love that.
usually hear across the pond.
Yeah, because I guess we usually hear like the Manchester accent, and most people are, I think, more familiar with like the the posh, like I don't know, I don't even know what I
Benedict
don't even.
Cumberbatch, Tom Hiddleston, those
Yeah.
kind of like what people would say are refined English accents. It's like,
Yes, exactly. When I do the British accent, I've been told by like I don't know if you know who Az is, a heel
yes,
versus babyface.
yeah, I know
A
who he
long
is.
time
Yeah.
ago, when I tried to do a British accent, he told me that I sound like a Cockney whore. And I was like, "What?" I didn't get it, but I
That was highly complimentary of him. Not.
I I know. I was like, I thought I was pretty good, like Harry Potter. Like I don't know. I thought that's the only thing I can basically say in the British accent. But let's bring it back to what do you call her? Magsy? Is that what you call
Hazza and
her?
Meggsy, yeah, them are nicknames for them.
Magsy. I love it. I love it. Okay, so like let's start with that, I guess, because I've always thought, I mean, like when the whole thing happened with Meghan Markle, because she kind of came out of nowhere at first. Like it was like, oh, okay, like Prince Harry's a girlfriend, and she's whatever. She's like some American chick. Okay, she seems like she's, I don't know, mixed race, half black. I don't know what's going on with her. But she was kind of like all over the place because people are obsessed with the royal family. So obviously we hear a lot about her. But I guess, can you kind of like go into what it is that kind of set her aside from Kate and what it is that made her just so much worse in everybody's eyes? And just like, how because she comes across as really narcissistic. And if you kind of like look into her past and the way she carries herself and everything, what is it about her that you dislike so much?
So the royal family, whether you agree with their existence or not, is a part of the UK identity and UK culture. It's part of our
Yep.
British identity and British culture. So when you are attacking the royal family, when you are throwing a lot of shiz at them, you're not just attacking and disrespecting the royal family, but you're attacking and disrespecting the British culture and our British identity.
Mhm.
It's like, and I try and equate it so that the Americans like understand this a little bit more. It's like someone getting the American flag, putting it on the floor, stomping it and burning it. Now, the Supreme Court has ruled that that's allowed because it's freedom of speech, this, that, and the other. But gazillion Americans out there still feel a certain kind of way about it.
Mhm.
Same over here, but with the British royal family. And so when we see attack after attack after attack from Megxit and Hazza against the British royal family, it's also attack, 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 attack against us, our identity, our British culture, and a complete disrespect. They
Mhm.
turn round and they say, basically that we're all racist, that we never accepted Megxit, this, that, and the other. This perpetual rewriting of history, revisionist history from Hazza and Megxit also completely grinds our gears because when she first came on the scene, we celebrated her. We
Yeah.
we saw her kind of as a Grace Kelly kind of situation, and let me explain. She was from America, she was
Mhm.
an actress, she was coming into the royal family. We saw her completely as glamorous. At one point, when you look at the poll, she was actually more popular than Princess Catherine at one
Mhm.
point. We wanted to copy her style, we wanted to copy her makeup. She was a breath of fresh air. If anything, we were turning around and we were actually saying, this is a brilliant step in the right direction for the monarchy. Modernization of the monarchy. They're accepting someone from another country and of mixed race. We were like, yes, we're all for it. When they got married, we watched in
Mhm.
our millions. We put up the bunting. We had celebrations. We had tea parties.
Mhm.
So this whole revisionist history of no, we never accepted Megxit. She never stood a chance whatsoever to make it in the UK and the British royal family is absolutely bull.
Mhm.
When she says that the media in the UK is racist, okay, is there an element of racism in all institutions? Yes.
Sure.
To me, you'd be a fool to turn around and say no. But
Mhm.
was it to the extent that Hazza and Megxit are making it out to be? Oh, freaking hell no. Oh,
Mhm.
hell no.
Mhm.
Again, this victim mentality that they're trying to perpetrate and trying to, you know, um, export out as their
Mhm.
image, as their PR, this, that, and the other. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it is, and I remember too, like, because again, I'm from the outside looking in, and I've always had a fascination with the royal family because even when I was young, I mean, when you're growing up, you're like, I want to be a princess, and then you realize you have like there's an actual royal family, and because I'm from Iran originally, so we also had our royal family as well, so it was just kind of like a really interesting fascinating thing to think about how like those kind of people exist and they're kind of like living outside in like a bubble that's kind of really different than yours, but they still exist because they're just on another plane, but they're
Yeah.
kind of like fascinating people. So like I was always interested in that. And then of course Princess Diana was like a big deal because like in my house, like my mom like loved her and we were all very into her and she was just such a beautiful soul. She's just such a kind amazing person that set the royal family aside in itself. And then, of course, everything that happened with her made the royal family a little bit like it put them on the map, like in a negative way, like what they were doing to her and like all the stuff that happened. So I always thought that stuff was really fascinating. And so when Meghan Markle came on the scene, I remember when everybody was like, oh, she's so great. Like, yeah, like all the British people were like, yeah, this is great. And even the media was like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, she's great, blah, blah, blah. And then as the wedding stuff started to happen, stuff started to like trickle out about Megan and her personality and how, like, for example, she wasn't inviting her father to her wedding and like how her father had like all this stuff to say about her and like her sister had all this stuff to say about her and like she just didn't seem like a very nice person, just generally speaking. It just all this stuff started to trickle out. And I became even more fascinated with her because you had this other side of the aisle that were kind of like defending her, but also comparing her to Princess Diana because they were like, oh, she's not being accepted the way Princess Di is not accepted and all this stuff. And I can see you're reacting. So please tell
You
me.
are talking about the Sugar Squad.
Oh, I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
yes. The Sugar Squad, otherwise known as the Sussex Squad. Okay. Um, Now, whatever you answer, I'm absolutely cool with. What is your philosophy on swearing on your streams?
You can swear as much as you want.
They are
Giver.
motherfucking cunts. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. Okay, let me explain. Whenever you criticize Megxi, you are instantly labeled as misogynistic and racist at a bare
Mhm,
minimum. Why
mhm,
do they do that? They do it to try and silence you because no one wants to be labeled as misogynistic. No one wants to be labeled as racist, right? And as
mhm.
soon as someone goes to you, it's like and says that, it's like, oh my goodness, well, I don't want to be known as that. So I won't say it again. I won't say it again. Try and silence by throwing those accusations all over at the slightest hint of any criticism against Megxit. They'll go in and call you that. Now, they've done it to me so many times, it's freaking boring at this point. Firstly,
Mhm.
how can I be misogynistic? I don't have a dick between my legs, guys, so
No, 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 that's called internalized misogyny, Steph. I've learned because 'cause I'm one of you. So,
right, well,
I
there we go then.
mhm,
Learn something new
mhm.
every day, but either way, still don't make sense to me, so screw you, sugars. And the second one is racist. Don't matter if she's black, white, blue, pink, green, purple, whatever. She's attacking our royal family, our
Mhm,
identity, our culture. I've got some things to say about it, and I ain't gonna be silenced. Now, back in August, Andy and I actually had a major run-in with the Sugars. So,
mhm,
it was a month before I was going to LA, and Andy and we had this, like, fun, like, crazy joke of an idea of when I was over to go to Montecito and just do a tour of all the places that we know that they've been to, right? Like
mhm.
the Hazza and Megxi worldwide privacy tour, like riffing off of South Park and getting like the
Yeah.
signs remade and doing the "We want privacy" thing and all that lot. And so the next day, after speaking to some legal counsel on this and getting advice, we announced it like as a joke, like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go over this, that, and the other." Oh my goodness. The Sugars went in. I got now Andy, I found out didn't get this, but I got death threats. I got threats of harm. They were calling me a cyberbully, a stalker, and a harasser, but I wasn't the one sending the death threats and the threats of harm and
I
all.
actually saw that. Like I saw a little bit of that backlash like in August when because you were now say you guys gonna want to go on that tour, and I saw
Yeah.
them being like, these people are awful and they're stalking Harry and Meghan and like all this stuff. And I was like, they're public people. Like if you go to a public place that public people are at, it's not called stalking. Like I don't know. That's why they have like the Hollywood tours. Like
Yeah,
you
you've got
can.
TMZ buses that do exactly the same thing. We're
Yeah.
not, we weren't going, when we were joking about it, you know, it wasn't like we were going to go onto private property and this, that, and the other, you know, it was like, you know, staying in public places, this, that, and the other, right? So Andy and I, we see this backlash and we only think of one thing, monetizing the morons. So every single day I exposed the sugars and did a video. And then at the weekend, I would gather the DMs and I would do streams showing the DMs that I was getting and the messages and all the death threats and the threats of harm, and turning around and saying, look, you know, Hazard and Megsy, right, are all for trying to stop bullying on the internet, cyber harassment, this, that, and the other. Yet when it's done in their own back garden by their own fans, they say nothing.
Of course
They
not.
do nothing. Funny that, right? So I'm pointing all this out, and I'm monetizing off of these morons, right?
Sure.
Getting, I call all my donations now sugar bucks in their honor. And two things
for you.
happened, right? And
Yeah.
this is for every single YouTuber out there that's watching this. This is how you deal with a hate mob. You monetize the morons. Why? Because this ain't the first time we've had to face a mob. It ain't our first rodeo. So two things happened as a result of all of this. The first one is we were then seeing messages from the sugars on Twitter saying, stop sending them these messages because they're making money off of us. Second thing that happened, all the money that I made off of them, I've always wanted Vivienne Westwood jewelry. Thanks, sugars. I got a nice pearl choker and 3 pairs of Vivienne Westwood earrings. And so, yeah, from time to time, I like to wear those pieces on the stream and say, thank you, sugars.
Why are they called sugars? I don't get, like, sugar is such a nice thing. Well, not really. They're toxic. Sugar is very toxic. Is that why you guys call them sugars? Because it's very toxic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. You know, I love sugar so much. And then I'm like, no, sugar is like my enemy. It makes me fat and it's toxic and, you know, it's terrible for you. That's wild, man. Like that stuff always fascinates me, like the mentality of like, and you know, every fandom has it too. It's not like every fandom has sugars, you know, like people who are just completely out of their mind and they'll go crazy. And like, I mean, I'm kind of like in the nerd fandom, kind of like Andy, like we're in the same circles, you know. So like Andy, I'm sure you've seen like the kind of hate he gets if he puts out something in pop culture that's not well received.
Oh yes, we've gone through, like I said, this wasn't our first rodeo, so you know we've dealt with the Snyder Cult.
Oh God,
we've dealt with the Amber Turds.
Oh
like,
no.
Yeah, it's definitely not our first rodeo. It's as if, like, the thing is, the sugars, they have a track record of going in on a YouTube creator and actually silencing them.
Wow.
Getting them so fearful that they back off. Yeah. They had no idea who they were dealing with when they tried to come after
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, well, let me bring up like the latest news because I just wanted to see what was the latest news on Megsy. I was like, okay, well, what's going on? Is she in the news? And then I Googled her, and of course she's in the news because although they want their privacy, they're always in the news. Like no matter what is going on, no matter what day of the week it is, somehow, some way, Meghan Markle is going to find her way into the headlines. And so today, Meghan Markle furious at the royal family over different rules for her. So some expert is talking about how she's mad, like Meghan Markle's big mad because The royals seem to have a different set of rules for her than the rest of the royal family. Commenter Neil Sean is, I guess that's the expert, drew comparisons between the Duchess of Sussex and Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, who has recently been active figure in TV news interviews. Now, can you tell me a little bit about this Sarah Ferguson, and why is Meghan Markle comparing herself to Sarah Ferguson?
Okay, so Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, is the ex-wife of Prince Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Now, Meghan comparing herself to Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, actually makes zero sense. It's like comparing apples and oranges, and I'll tell you why. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, as part of the divorce agreement between her and Prince Andrew and pretty much the royal family, she was able to keep a title and use a title, did not sign an NDA, but got a lower payout because of it. If I remember rightly, she got about, I want to say, £2 million.
Okay.
Compare that to Princess Diana. Princess Diana, when she divorced Prince Charles, she was still known as the Princess of Wales. She still had residence at Kensington Palace. She got a payout of, top of my head, I want to say around about £16 million,
Okay.
circa, something along those lines. Give me if I'm wrong with the figures.
Back then, too, like, I mean, not counting inflation, it's probably like a lot more now. But
Oh, absolutely. But she signed an NDA. Okay. So what Sarah Ferguson was able to do was keep a title of the Duchess of York, not sign an NDA, but get a lower payout as a result from the royal family.
Okay.
This then allowed her to be able to do the interviews, do the books, sell herself with the royal connections, this, that, and the other, because ultimately the royal family agreed to that.
Sure.
That's what they agreed to as part of that divorce settlement. Compare this to Megxit. The Megxit agreement that was drafted and agreed upon at what was now known as the Sandringham Summit. The agreement essentially is that they cannot use his and her Royal Highness's titles. They cannot brand themselves as Sussex Royal or use their like royal connections commercially, this, that, and the other. And so with that being said, and there is no divorce because she's still married to.
She's still married.
Exactly. She's still part of the royal family.
And that was actually a really big deal because that was a really big deal because like back then, like when they were like basically kind of like this, like the Queen was seen as disowning Harry and Meghan. That was basically kind of like by their own hand, like by their own doing. Like they kind of wanted to leave the royal family, correct?
Yeah, they decided that they wanted to leave the royal family. They put out a statement that essentially says that they decided to leave, that they want to become independently, financially independent and do their own thing. It's only up until recently that Prince Harry, in his case against the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday, turning around and saying that he was forced out of the royal family. BS. He wasn't forced out. When you read his book Spare, it actually turns round and he writes in there that they're celebrating the decision to leave. And you look at the mockumentary, as I like to call it, Harry and Meghan on Netflix, and there's a selfie video that he does that's shown on that mockumentary where they're leaving the UK and he's saying they're on the Freedom Flight. Yeah.
They always pick up shit.
This is why I'm saying this whole comparison that Meghan Markle allegedly is doing with Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, actually makes zero sense. You're comparing apples and oranges. They're two separate situations here where on Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York's side, the royal family endorsed her to talk about the royal family, you know, promote her royal family connections for commercial gain, this, that, and the other as part of the divorce settlement. But Megsy, no, they didn't. Actually, in fact, it was the complete opposite. And they agreed to it. Megsy and Azza agreed to it. So it's done now. You made your bed, you're lying it.
Well, and the interesting part is in this article too that it brings up that that Meghan and Harry are looking into possibly get back into the royal family, because I guess they've been invited by I was going to say Prince Charles, King Charles now. King Charles, I guess, invited them back to the place. Well, what was it? Where was it? It said something is beginning to unwind the heart of Meghan and Harry early this month. I think 2024 is going to be seismic, either because they're going to do something to recover and find new positive tactic, or it's going to be an undoing of the brand. It can only be in two ways. I can't say blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I don't know. I guess they've been invited back by Prince or King Charles. Is it weird for you to also say King Charles now, or is it just me?
No, it's absolutely natural to call
Okay.
King Charles because of the line of succession. Now, there is a correction here. They've not been invited.
No.
No.
That's what I figured. I
So
mean,
official
I
report,
didn't know
it's
because
all from Team Sussex anyway, their PR team, as far as I'm concerned, that they wanted to go to Sandringham for Christmas to meet up with the royal family, this, that, and the other. But then reports came out and completely slammed that down. So I understand why some people are confused as to whether they're actually invited or not. The waters were muddied a little bit because of Team Sussex. But in terms of them getting back into the royal family, yeah, reports are coming out even further that Hazza and Megsy want to go back into the royal family and associate themselves more with the royal family in a more positive light. Why? Because ultimately their current ongoing tactic of being negative towards the royal family and attacking them has not worked. It's not worked.
It hasn't worked. And I mean, like, the
Downhill.
biggest thing was South Park. Like when that South Park episode dropped and they just looked so ridiculous. And everybody was just like, yeah, basically, I mean, that's what they do. They're constantly like, we don't want any attention. And then they're on Oprah, or they're like releasing memoirs, or like, you know, they're just like everywhere. And they're always doing something in front of the camera, but then they're all like, don't give us any attention. So it's really interesting, and they're fascinating people in that sense, because it's like they keep saying they don't want attention, but it's like it's almost like they can't get enough of it. So that's really interesting. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about was if you'd seen The Crown, and I asked you behind the scenes, and you said you'd only seen the first season and then you boycotted it. So tell me about that. What is going on with you and The Crown? Why are you boycotting it?
So I've watched all the seasons up until the last one that was recently released. I saw part 1 of the final season. I've not seen part 2. I'm boycotting it. The reason being is because of how they treat the Princess Diana character.
Okay.
She returns as a freaking ghost.
She was weird in the whole season. And yeah, she does do that. I think, I mean,
it's been out for a while, so whatever.
I mean, they took a little bit of liberties with that, with regard to the ghost thing, because I think they have to kind of do that for, you know, like the dialogue of like the internal monologue that, you know, Prince Charles was going to have with himself regarding that whole aspect. And, you know, same with like Dodie's dad, and how Dodie's dad had like, you know, saw him as a ghost and everything like that. It was kind of like, I think it was just like a artistic representation of how you would have characters have these kind of internal monologues or whatever. I didn't know how to feel about that either. But what I actually had more of a problem with how Princess Diana was portrayed in terms of like in the season when they were when they were showing, because I remember those times, like because I was alive. I was growing up when she was like in the news all the time and everything, and I was you know, I was there. I saw her death. Like I remember that night, and you know, telling my mom, like, you know, Princess Diana died. Like I remember that whole thing. And the way that they portrayed her, I feel like it was really just kind of off, like, in a sense of, like, because Princess Di was really powerful in a sense of, like, the kind of person she was, like, she just was a very powerful woman into onto herself, and she never really, like, looked down and meek at the cameras, like, she was always looking into the camera, she was always looking into the eyes of the interviewer, like, whoever was interviewing her, she wasn't like this meek, tiny creature, like, she was at first, like, when she was, like, 19 and she had gotten into the whole royal family and stuff, she was, like, a little bit shy, but as things went on and as, like, the older she got and the more the spotlight was on her, she was actually really well, like, she carried herself really well and she was never afraid of the reporters, and I think that's one of the things that I had the most problem with was, like, how they portrayed her to be, like, this meek, like, just kind of like didn't know what she was doing, always looking down, afraid of everybody. Like, that's the kind of thing that I didn't like that they did. But the woman who played her, though, I thought she was great. Like, she was a great cast. The other part of it that I didn't like was in the original season, like in season, or not original, in the season 5, like the season prior. I thought they did like Prince Charles, like Prince Charles was way too nicely like painted in season 5. I was like, first of all, the actor is way better looking than Prince Charles in real life. I was like, that is not a good cast, like depiction of what's going on over there. But just generally speaking, I felt like they were it's almost as if they knew that he was going to be king soon. So they wanted to be like, oh, he's just so misunderstood. Like, he didn't mean to cheat on her for years and years and years and years and like all this stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. But I thought they did the ending really well, though, Steph. Like the final kind of episode where they're kind of like, because the final episode is about the queen's death and how she like had to design her own, like she had to organize her own funeral because they had to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they did the same thing with King. I was going to call him King Philip, Prince Philip, because he was never really king, right? I mean, how does that work? That is weird. Like, why wouldn't he be king if she became like she was queen? But why wouldn't he be king?
Because king is higher than queen.
Oh, I see. So then he wouldn't ever be king because he's not a royal born, like, I mean, British royal born, right? Is that what? Okay.
It's just he married the then Princess Elizabeth. She then was in the line of succession to ascend to the throne. She became queen. He could never become king.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like, yeah,
because again, king is higher than a queen, but she
sure.
was queen by birthright, so no one could be higher than her anyway. So that's why he was then Prince Philip.
But if
doesn't matter about his nationality in that sense,
right? Because because he was German, or Austrian. He was Austrian. But like when when William becomes king, Kate becomes queen, right? Because queen is lower.
It's like King Charles.
Right.
Charles became king, and now Camilla is now Queen Camilla.
Queen. Right.
So yeah, when Prince William ascends to the throne, he will, assuming, be King William, and she will then be Queen Catherine.
When The Crown actually talked about this as well. Like there was a time when around the Jubilee, when everybody thought that that she was going to step aside and basically skip the next thing and give it to either Charles, or basically that everybody wanted her, or like everybody wanted Charles to pass on the king, like to give it up like her uncle did and give it to William. Like most people like a lot of people wanted that to happen. Were you one of those? Like, or do you want Charles to be king?
I was not one of those. No, never have been, never will be. Because I thought it was a complete disrespect for those people to turn around and say, no, We want the throne to bypass Prince Charles and
Mhm.
go straight to Prince William. I thought it was a complete disrespect to the then Prince Charles because it's his birthright ultimately
Yes.
to become king, and no one should dictate or even turn around and say, "No, we want the throne to pass over him and go to Prince William."
Right. Um, it's also really interesting to me because through watching The Crown, I learned a little bit more about, like, obviously about the royals in the way that I could. Obviously, I have read other stuff too, but like the Crown just like kind of filled in and gave you the visual representation of certain things. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting about the final season was because, again, like after the whole thing with Princess Diana happened, the royals kind of went through like this lull period of like you didn't really know what was going on with the royals because of the whole, like, because everybody blamed the paparazzi for Princess Diana's death, so the media kind of like backed off. And so you kind of went through a lull period of not really knowing anything about them for a long time until William got married. And then you had that big celebration, and people were like, oh my God, Prince William's getting married, blah, blah, blah. But like during that time when Prince William was dating um, Princess Kate or Catherine, you call her Catherine. I
Yeah,
call
Princess Catherine.
Yeah, I call her Kate because everybody calls her Kate, but I guess like I get the British folk call her like with their proper name, Catherine, Princess Catherine. I like it.
It's what she prefers. She
Oh,
prefers.
is it?
Yeah, but the thing is, and I did a video on this on my channel. People, and I used to call her Kate as well.
Mm.
People calling her Kate, it's not a disrespect. It's actually our admiration for her because she didn't come from the blue blood kind of background that usually marries into the royal family. She was
Mhm.
a commoner like us.
Yeah.
She was
And
a
that was one
commoner
of the
like us.
fascinating things about her. And I guess, but one of the things in The Crown that it did, and I don't know if you watched this part or not, but basically what it did, and I don't know if I like that, was that it kind of filled in the blanks about how they met and how like the relationship flourished. And they kind of basically, not in so many words, but basically they said that Princess or Prince that Catherine's mother was kind of like this chick that wanted to like make sure that she and William got together. Like she was kind of like behind the scenes, putting her in different places. Like, for example, apparently she took off a year off school. Like before she went, she like changed schools. She took a year off school to just like be like Prince William because he took a year off school, like he took a leap year or whatever. Before he went to school, and then she changed schools to go and be in the school that he was in, and the mom was kind of behind the scenes, kind of like making this stuff happen and convincing Catherine to like not do that and like go to the school that he's going to and to be in around his circles and blah blah blah. And so it just kind of made it seem like it's not as romantic. Like I thought it was like so much more kind of like, they met in school and fell in love, and it was like this organic love that flourished between them. But like the show made it seem like it was more manipulated than it really was. Like, so I don't know. Like, I was wondering what you thought about that. Like, what did you think? Like, do you know much about Catherine and William's relationship and how it flourished? Or like, do you believe that Catherine's mom, like, kind of implanted her in certain places so that William would like be there and blah blah blah, like kind of like stuff like that?
I don't know. Is the honest. I don't know. It could have happened. It may have happened. It might not have happened. Either way, though, the end result is Prince William met Kate Middleton. They got
Mhm.
together, and the rest is history. She married
Yeah.
into the royal family, and she is serving us, our country, and the Commonwealth extremely well.
Yeah, you guys love her over there over Meghan, right? Like, I mean,
Oh,
it's
hell
like a
yeah.
big thing. Um, the other thing that The Crown did was kind of start portraying Harry and William's relationship kind of like a little bit dwindling, after their mother's death. And, as like time went on, for example, like that whole thing with Harry getting caught in the Nazi uniform at the time.
Yeah.
And like how, he was in the show, they had kind of made it so that like, Prince William was there and he was kind of making fun of him and being like, yeah, you should totally wear that. And then after it happened and it was like all over the news, Prince William was like, well, how could you wear that? Like, you knew they were going to do this and like, blah, blah, blah. And like, kind of got on his ass for it. And I guess like it just started to show like how Prince William and Prince Harry just started to kind of like drift apart even from then because they just had such different personalities. And Prince Harry was always kind of like, living in the shadow of Prince William and just kind of like, he was the bad kid, the problem child, and he knew that he was the problem child and he wanted to be the problem child so that he can make his brother look better. So now when we fast forward to now, and then now you can see that the relationship is kind of completely wrecked in a way. A lot of people blame that on Meghan Markle. Do you as well? Like, do you think that that's like a thing that Meghan Markle made happen, or do you think Harry? This is Harry.
A lot of people will turn around and say that Megsy's pulling the strings, that Megsy is manipulating Hazza, that it's Megsy's fault that the two brothers are apart, this, that, and the other. No.
Oh,
No. I don't believe that at all.
really? Why?
No. Because Hazza is a freaking adult. He can make his own damn decisions. To turn round and say, oh, it's Megsy pulling the strings, it's Megsy's fault that they're not together, the brothers, this, that, and the other, it takes the whole responsibility away from Prince Hazza.
Mm,
Oh, it's not Hazza's fault, it's Megsy's fault.
yeah.
And that's wrong. Because ultimately, the only person that could ultimately actually sever the relationship with his brother is Hazza.
Hmm.
He's the one that wrote Spare and said all those things about Prince William. He's the one that's done these interviews with Megsy. He's the one that did this mockumentary on Netflix with Megsy. He's co-signing it. If anything, if I'm to say anything in terms of Megsy's involvement, it's this. It's always been in Hazza. This dislike for the royal family, the British public, the media, that's always been there. The rivalry between the brothers, always been there, right? The discord between the brothers, always been there. It's just
Yeah.
Megsy out.
Yeah, because I mean, like that, and that's what kind of like The Crown was showing, was that they had this kind of like, they had problems. It wasn't just Meghan Markle. Like Meghan Markle didn't just appear and make all these problems between them. But I guess what a lot of people argue is that Meghan Markle's kind of like this Macbethian figure, like, like the Lady Macbeth figure that kind of like really influences Harry onto doing like certain things, like for example, giving up the royal title and taking him away from his home and things like that. Like all the things that you just said, a lot of people think that, yeah, she's kind of like Yoko Ono, like that she broke up the band and like, that she's the one that's kind of pulling his strings. And I don't know, I agree with you in that sense, because I think like, yes, he's a man. And I mean, they clearly had some relationship issues, like as brothers, they have such different personalities. But at the same time, I can't help but think that maybe Meghan did kind of like, push Harry into finally doing what he maybe was too weak to do before. Like maybe he didn't have the strength to be like, no, I don't want to be part of this family.
Pushing Hazza.
Hmm.
Think about it. He was born into a royal family. Third in line of the throne at that point. No one told him what to do. It's the other way around. He told people what to do. High up in the royal family, son of the future King of England. Always got his way. You can imagine it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think all of a sudden he's going to get some pussy and he's going to allow that to dictate what he does? No. doesn't make sense to me. Again, the only thing I'd say in terms of Meg's involvement is that she brought it out of him more. But ultimately, you see, I don't know if, forgive me, if you are familiar with the philosophical theory of existentialism, specifically Jean-Paul Sartre's writings. In existentialism, we believe that everyone has the freedom of choice. To turn around and say that, oh no, I didn't have a choice, or no, someone made me do it, or someone manipulated me to do it, is a fallacy. Because ultimately, no matter what, you're still making that choice, whether you're going to do action A or action B. You still make that choice no matter what.
Yeah, because there has to be some accountability. Like you know, you are still like a human being that's an adult that's making choices.
Correct in this respect. So yeah, for people to still continue to turn around and say, no, Megxie is the mastermind and she's controlling the strings on Prince Hazard, this, that, and the other, makes zero sense to me on so many levels, some of which I've explained today. Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna want to go back though? Like, do you think he's gonna at some point be like, yeah, let's go back because this didn't work out quite as well? So, and do you think that Prince Charles or King Charles, excuse me, I keep doing that. Okay. Do you think King Charles is going to accept him back into the family?
Okay. King Charles will accept them back into family because it's easier to control them when they're within the family rather than when they're out. So it'll be a strategic and tactical move in that respect. Will it happen? Not the way you think.
Oh.
Megxie will never come back to the UK.
Oh, okay.
Guaranteed. Why? Because the narcissist in her does not want to go back to a country that absolutely dislikes her.
Yeah, I mean, everybody hates her over there. Yeah.
She's not going to get the hero's welcome that she wants.
Sure.
She's not going to get the adoration that she wants. She saw that when she came over last year for Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
Yes.
She was there on the Windsor Walkabout with Hazard, Prince William and Princess Catherine. She goes to the crowds and, you know, gets the flowers and the well wishes, puts out her hand to shake people's hands. The British public were not shaking her hand. We're not shaking her hand. And that to us is us turning around and saying, F you, bitch.
Yeah, they don't like her over there.
No.
Oh
and so
my goodness.
She saw that. She saw she didn't get a hero's welcome, this, that, and the other. She ain't coming back to UK. So the only way this is going to happen, as far as I'm concerned, is this. At some point, they're going to divorce.
Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think so?
100% they're going to divorce.
Really?
Totally. Yeah. And the way it's going to happen, as far as I'm concerned, is this. Hazard's not going to press that button, but she will. She'll only press that button when she's under the delusion that she can make it on her own without the attachment of Harry and the royal family. That her name alone, she can make it in Hollywood and she can get in the big bucks. As soon as she feels that she can do that, she's going to divorce Hazard. At that point, Hazard, tail between his legs, he's going to come back to the royal family because he doesn't have nowhere else to turn.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm a little surprised it hasn't happened yet. Like, I mean, I thought they were going to divorce way faster and like they're still together. So I'm like, I mean, what do I know? Like, maybe they're going to be together forever. I mean, that's going to be crazy. But like, I thought that they were going to divorce by now and they still haven't. They're still together. No. They're still going.
Harry won't divorce because he won't want the family broken up because of his experience with his mum and dad.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that he's not pushed that button, right?
Yeah.
It's not surprising that Meghan's not pushed that button because even though 2023 for them was absolutely an epic fail, she knows, she ain't stupid, that she's nothing without Harry at the moment.
That's true.
linked to the royal family.
She's got nothing going on. I mean, even when she was in
Nothing.
Hollywood, like she barely had anything going on then. Like she was in Suits. Okay. Like who cares? Like she wasn't like the biggest movie star or anything. So now when she like if she divorces Harry, like she's not even like she doesn't have anything going on. I was just reading actually when I was researching her that people are saying that her talent agency may have dropped her even. So even
I'm
if
looking
she
into
doesn't even
that.
have a fucking
Yeah.
talent agency, like I don't know what she's planning on doing without
But
Harry.
now, let's talk about this talent agency because it speaks to what I'm saying here, right? She'll
Mhm.
only divorce when she knows she can, under the delusion, stand on her own 2 feet and get the big bucks without any attachment to Harry and the royal family. The talent agency that she signed up with is WME, William
Mhm.
Morris Endeavour. It was announced back in April that she had signed with them. Just her,
Mhm.
not her and Harry.
Yeah, just her.
It was
Yeah.
just her, okay? So these are the first rumblings, right, of her
Mhm.
trying to make it on her own without Harry,
Mhm.
okay? Very,
Mhm.
very telling. Since April, though, what's happened? Zero. Zilch. There has been no announcement whatsoever from WME to
Mhm.
confirm that just for Megxie alone, here is a project that she's involved in. Not once. And we are now 8 months in. She's on their books. She's not making any money for them whatsoever.
Mhm. That's dramatic.
So she knows on her own at the moment, she must know on her own at the moment, no one wants her. It's only when she's linked to Harry and the royal family that she has some kind of value at the moment. And
But
even
that's
that's dwindling anyway.
but that's what I'm saying. So like if she doesn't ever actually get that value that she thinks she's worth in Hollywood, how do you think that she's going to divorce Harry? Because that's the only thing she's known for now is being Harry's wife.
So the other scenario where I see her divorcing Hazza is continuing with the victim mentality, but
Mhm.
turning it against Hazza.
Oh.
He has admitted, let's be very real here, he has admitted to substance use.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There are, we shall call them rumors, that he is a physically angry fella.
Oh
Not
no.
against Megxie, but there have been rumors, and they've been, and these incidents apparently have been swept under the carpet because of who he is, right?
Right.
Rumors. Let's be very clear on that.
Mhm.
The other scenario where she presses the divorce button, like I said, is she still continues to play the victim, but she turns it against Hazza. Turns around and says, you know, this substance usage, this, that, and the other, put a strain on the family. I don't trust him around the children because, you know, he's taking all this stuff still, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, the divorce, and she makes money off of it because there's a rumor that she's doing her memoirs, which is the life when she was in the royal family. If this scenario comes out, she'll do a second memoir, which is life as Prince Harry's wife.
Ah.
Perpetuate the victimhood even further and paint him as the bad guy, this, that, and the other, and completely try and pummel him.
Yeah, like he's like this mama's boy that was never able to let go of the trauma, and like he has all these issues and like blah de da de da da. Yeah, I could see it. I can see it. She's such a narcissist. Steph, you've been so wonderful, and I know it's really late there, but before you go, let me get this couple of super chats that are well, one of
Yeah.
them is specifically for you. Says DL says for $1.99, Steph, do you believe that Harry is Charles's son?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because that was a big rumor that like Harry was like, what was that guy's name? Like Princess Diana's horse guy. I forget his name.
Oh, it's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you know, yeah, that guy. That guy was supposed to
Right,
be a
James
dad or
Stewart. James
something.
Stewart. There you go. I
Yeah,
got there.
yeah.
Yeah, James Stewart.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Dude, thank you so much for coming by today and hanging out with me and all your wealth of knowledge. You are amazing. Steph's links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to her channel and, of course, Popcorn Planet as well, because she does hang out with Andy Signor on there. But before you go, please do a little outro and tell everyone where they can find you next.
So firstly, thank you, Nina, for inviting me onto your stream. I've had so much fun. So thank
Sure.
you so much for your generosity. So you can find me on my channel, youtube.com/Steph the Alter Nerd. You can also follow me on Twitter at Steph Alter Nerd. I do a little bit more on there, you know, a little bit behind the scenes of my life, this, that, and the other. Get to know me a little bit more and rants and raves and all that malarkey. And 2024, brand new year. Let's kick some ass. And
absolutely. I think I might see you maybe possibly on Friday on Legal Vices' channel as well. 'Cause he invited me to the ladies' day or night or whatever it's called. So I might see you there. That's Jeff Legal Vices' channel as well. If you guys want to check that out, we'll be hanging out with him on Friday probably. It was wonderful. It was wonderful to see you. You're going to have to come back, especially when there's more Megsy drama or like some crazy shit happens, like they get divorced or something. You're going to have to come back. We're going to have to talk more royal stuff because I'm still obsessed and you have to teach me all the things you know, especially in your beautiful accent. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
Invite me back, Nina. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, hon.
Thank you. And you guys don't go anywhere because I'm going to stay here. We still got lots to talk about. We got Cakegate. We got Star Wars news, which is so weird because, oh my God, I can't believe the Star Wars news. So don't go anywhere. Thank you, Steph, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Nina. And thank you to everyone watching. Really appreciate all your faces. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you, Steph. Yay! That was so much fun. Don't worry, David Morris. I got you. Because you just said thank you for the 5. You said I'm indifferent to the royal family. I didn't really want to read that to Steph because I understand, like, it's because I mean it's just, what is she gonna say, right? Like, okay, because she's really all about the royal family, and that's her livelihood, her job. So it's completely understandable that you're indifferent. I mean, but you're British, so it makes sense. I mean, there's some British people that are like, they're just indifferent. They're indifferent. They don't care that the royals exist. They also don't care that they do. Like, it's just there's indifference going on there. But thank you very much for your super chat, David Morris. And of course, Darren Murphy, thank you, says, Beardo eats around the poop in poop cookies. I'm not really sure what is this in reference to, but thank you for the $1.99. Now, we have a lot more to talk about, guys. That's why I didn't end the show because, well, first of all, we still got Cakegate to talk about. And I was a little bit heavily involved in that, like in the whole Cakegate situation. My entire Twitter feed was filled by this entire Cakegate scenario. So I want to talk about that with you guys a little bit, update you on what's going on with me. And of course, we also have some Star Wars news I want to talk to you guys about because apparently, Star Wars is still a thing, and apparently it wasn't as feminist as we wanted it to be. You know what I'm gonna do though is give me a second here. I'm gonna invite Anna, that Star Wars girl, on here if she's not busy, so she can come talk to me about the Star Wars stuff. Hey, I'm gonna tell her. Okay, I'm just sending her the link just in case she wants to come on. And there we go. So that will be fun if she stops by. But before she comes on, we got to talk about Cakegate, guys. Cakegate is a thing. So last week, if you missed the show last week, we had a really good stream because it was my triumphant return to YouTube. By the way, tomorrow is supposed to be my 10 business days, like up for the strike to be taken out of the channel, like because that company that gave me the strike is supposed to have 10 business days to respond to my notification, to my counter notification to YouTube. They have not. They have not replied yet. They have one more day. They have till tomorrow to respond. And if they don't respond, then my video will be reinstated. And once that is done, I will either go live and basically shame that company, or I will make a video. But either way, something will be coming into explaining what exactly happened with the strike and everything. I'm sure they're going to remove it because they have 10 business days to respond to my counter notification because it's a legal notification. And if they don't, that means they're basically that gets thrown out, because if they do respond, that means they're basically taking me to court, and they have to prove that I stole their content. And they're not going to do that. Let's just be honest. They're just not going to do that. These companies, they do this en masse. They claim people so that they can get them to buy their products. They basically are a bunch of criminals that are doing basically mafia mentality shit. Like, that's why I'm like, I wasn't born yesterday, but that's for a topic for another day, because I still have one more day to go. We'll talk about that very soon. But we're going to talk about Cakegate now. And you might be asking yourself, what the heck is Cakegate? So last week, as I was saying, in the stream that I was doing with John and Comics, and I think Demaj and I was there, we were talking about something else that happened. And that thing was called Calendargate, because a bunch of conservative girls decided to do a calendar with this guy named Seth Meyers, I believe. I'm sorry if I got that dude's name wrong. Yeah, I know his name was Seth, but I know that I forget his last name. But anyways, this dude, conservative dad's company owner, CEO, made a beer, something to market towards like the anti-woke market. And they decided to make a calendar, and they made a calendar. And a lot of the people on the conservative side of things, especially on the Christian conservative side of things, were very upset about it. They were like, oh my God, we need to clutch our pearls. Like, oh no, these girls, they're just, oh my God, like there's too much like immodesty, and my God, like what are we gonna do? Like all this calendar is demonic. Like some people were saying that it was demonic, and it was a gong show, man. It was an absolute gong show. A lot of a lot of stuff like this.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
So that's basically like the lowdown of it for last week. And then when you thought that the internet couldn't get any sillier, and you were like, oh my God, like is this really what we're talking about here? A bunch of hot girls on a calendar, and conservative media, conservative pundits, I should say, not media, conservative pundits losing their ever-loving mind over a bunch of like very kind of tame pictures. Really, like the most spiciest one was like Riley Gaines in a bikini, but my God, like who cares? Anyways, you think to yourself that that's the silliest it's gonna get. But no, people on Twitter were like, hold my beer, hold my beer, because we got, I mean, my God, this lady here, she gonna make a cake, yo. She gonna make a cake, and the cake, it's just, oh my God, the most demonic cake making thing I've ever seen. Because this is okay. So as you can see, Twitter here, crops the picture a little bit. Like before you play it, you can't really tell what this is gonna be about, except for if you read this thing, it says brown butter caramel cake is the messiest thing I've ever made thus far. This girl, Isabella Maria DeLuca. She's a very lovely girl. She looks very lovely. She's got a little cross over here. You can tell she's a Christian girl, obviously, because she, at least that's a vibe she's putting out there. Mind you, I have a cross too, but I'm not Christian. I just have a little diamond one because I think it's cute. I never wear it because I'm not Christian. I don't want to put that out there. But it's very cute. So she's got that going on. She's got her top, like she's got a very kind of like tight fitting top, short sleeve. She's got no sleeves over here. She doesn't, it's not even a V-neck or anything. The chest is completely covered. And so when you press play here, the video starts, but you kind of can't see anything, so you kind of like have to like make it full screen. Anyway, some people watching it on that main square box, so they couldn't see what she was actually doing. And by the way, I'm going to mute this so we don't get hit with the music. But this is how it starts. So she starts making this cake, and you can see her steering it, measuring some stuff, steering the cake, getting that uh the ingredients. And then, now mind you, I think she probably has her camera built, like put on maybe like a little stand thing or something, like over here facing her, trying to film her. There's a lot of ceiling room over here, so I think it would have been better if she had, like, brought down the camera frame to about here, so that you could see, like, just the top of her head, and maybe more of the bowl would have been nicer. If you're trying to focus on a cooking video, you're trying to show a recipe. Having said that, I mean, I could still see the ingredients. I could still see like what she's putting in there. And you can see that there's mixing the vanilla, and when she steers it, she kind of like zooms in into the bowl to show from the top angle that she's steering it. And I think that that's it, like right here where she's like, putting the glaze on and everything like that. So you can kind of see that going on. She's cooking it. There you go. She's stirring it again, showing like she's stirring that. Blah, blah, blah. Puts it in the oven. There's your ingredients. Oh, now she's gonna. My God, by the way, this cake. Oh my God, it looks so good. She squeezes the chocolate in there. And then she does it, and that's it. Like, that's the video. She made that from scratch. This part, my God, it was it's almost orgasmic just watching it, just because it's like, I'm trying to stay away from carbs right now, especially a cake like this. My God, this would make me so fat. But dude, when I was watching this, the only thing I could think of was like the food porn. Like, I was like, okay, like that, like I was salivating, like just watching her make this cake, because it was just so beautiful. Like, the cake was so beautiful. I was like, ah, like, this is so good. I was like Homer. I'm like, oh my God. I really, really want some of this cake. But then people started losing their minds about what she was wearing. So they're saying, like, she's not wearing an apron, so she's, getting a little mess on her. And mostly because, well, this girl, Isabella, is a very, very full-figured woman. She's Let's just say that God really blessed her, like right in this region. She's just very blessed. I mean, I am too. Like, I believe I'm a little bit blessed in this region. So a lot of us girls that are, just very blessed in this upper region, have a hard time wearing stuff that smaller chested women are okay with. They don't look the same on us that it does on them. It looks a little bit more not showy, but it looks more full, because we are fuller. We're full chested girls. We're just, they're just bigger, so they pop out more. And so this has bothered a lot of people. They say, that they're calling her a e-thought. They're saying she knows exactly what she's doing, because she's just out there to get guys to simp for her. This isn't about a cake. I mean, all this girl did was really, I mean, honestly, I didn't even know who she was before this cake video. But like all she did was really upload a cake video. As far as I was concerned, all I saw was a cake video. I didn't see anything different or untoward, or like she wasn't even wearing a low cut shirt. I could be like, oh my God, like what was she thinking? Like no spaghetti straps going on, no nothing. Like it wasn't like she's not wearing a mini skirt. Like, she's not like making faces at the camera, like, the kind of stuff you see like Amaranth or somebody do to a microphone on Twitch. Like, I mean, we've seen way worse, guys. Like, we've seen way worse. And so you just keep seeing like all these comments, and specifically from this lady here, whose name is Rachel Wilson. She was one of the people that was very, very up in arms about what was going on with this video, calling her out, calling her all sorts of things. Now, unfortunately, Rachel ended up blocking me. So I have been blocked because I kind of, just kind of chimed in a couple of times on my ideas about why I think that Rachel's kind of overreacting to the situation. And one of the things I brought up was the fact that I believe, the previous president, not the current one, the previous one, Donald Trump, married a very spicy lady who used to do softcore porn, Melania Trump. And I thought that it was really interesting that most people, including Rachel herself, didn't seem to mind Melania very much. And in fact, like they were, they confessed their love for Melania a couple times. And I pointed that out, and I was like, well, I mean, like it seems like you have no problem with somebody like Melania, which, to be fair, like Melania is not technically political. She never was. She was just a model that married Donald Trump. And I don't think she ever thought that Donald Trump was going to be the president. I thought she was probably just the gold digger that thought, yeah, hey, I'm going to marry Donald Trump, and he's rich, he's going to take care of him for the rest of my life, and I'm fine with that. And I don't think she knew that he had aspirations to ever become president. I don't think she ever wanted to become the first lady. But the reason I bring her up is because nonetheless, she ended up becoming the first lady. And she did end up marrying Donald Trump, a man who did become the leader of the conservative movement. And the reason I bring it up is because I believe politics in general are completely corrupt and dirty and disgusting. As we say this, a list is being released, has been released. The famous list, the Epstein list, has been released with many, many, many politicians, including Bill Clinton and many other people on it. I can tell you, like, that's something that, I thought about discussing tonight, but I don't even know if I have it in me to discuss it tonight. I mean, we can talk about it a little bit, but still, it's getting, I don't want to get sidetracked too much. But my point is that politics is a dirty freaking game. And in politics, conservatism and Republicans being conservative, there is a lot of dirty business that goes on behind closed doors. Most politicians are usually hooking up with hookers, doing all sorts of fucked up shit, doing coke, doing all sorts of stuff, drugs, all that kind of stuff. It's happening all the time, whether you want to believe it or not. It happens on both sides. It's not just the left that does it. It is also the right. And like I said, Donald Trump ended up becoming the president of the United States, and his wife used to do softcore porn. And a lot of these people don't care. They don't care. They don't mind. And I believe if we're trying to kind of like set these boundaries now and be like, oh my God, we got to call out all these thought chicks and all these like conservative chicks that are trying to make it out on the Twitterverse or whatever. We got to call them out. Well, maybe, just maybe, we should be really looking within the political parties and seeing how virtuous we actually are. Because if you're going to start spitting out virtue to people, you might want to clean house just a little bit, because if there's stuff coming out like, I don't know, you're banging hookers or, you're doing coke or whatever it is that you're doing, somehow, some way it's going to come out. And I think that both parties are really gross. Politicians are really gross. And who do these girls have to look up to? Do they have to look up to Donald Trump and Melania? Because that's not a, that's who are these girls? Who do they have as conservative leaders that they're looking up to be like, I want to be like them. Like they're classy couple, I want to be like these people. I don't want to be a disgusting trad thought or whatever the hell they're labeling this poor girl now. Like there is a thing that is happening within our society. There is definitely a lot of girls out there that are making terrible mistakes. I'm not in denial about that. There's definitely this thing going on within society where we have we have a porn problem. We have a porn epidemic, if you will, because porn is so easily accessible. And there's a lot of stuff going on. And the idea that sex sells is something that has been in the head of all of us for a long time. And sex sells is something that is true. And so when I see people being like, well, she's not really a conservative, she's just trying to sell herself. In a way, yeah, she is, because that's what everybody does. I mean, even me, I'm gonna like, I got red lipstick on. I made up my hair. Like, yeah, I don't have like a very, showy shirt today, but I have before. I've had like very low V-cut shirts. I've had spaghetti straps. I've had tube tops on. Not that I'm trying to sell sex to you, but I like looking good and it brings in more viewers. Yes, it does, because the male gaze does exist, but the male gaze is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that we sell ourselves and we sell this image of ourselves of being good looking or being sexy or sexual beings or vibrant or whatever, because guess what? We are sexual beings. We are beautiful sexual creatures. We have red blood running through our veins, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And so I think I have a problem when people are saying like, they're pretending as if like this girl is not selling this image of herself and being like, whatever they think that she is being. I mean, obviously it's not true. I mean, obviously she's putting herself out there, but she's putting herself out there because she's a single girl. She's 23 years old and she's looking for a husband. So yeah, of course she's doing that. And of course, maybe she's making mistakes. Maybe she's thinking like, like I said earlier with the camera angle, like maybe she should have brought it down a little bit so that you saw less ceiling and you saw more of her and her cooking. Like, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but getting like publicly shamed by like this woman and whoever else, all these older women and all these weirdos that come out and like call her a whore and an ethot and all this stuff, all because she made a cake in a t-shirt and a tight t-shirt. Give me a fucking break, man. Give me a fucking break. And then meanwhile, we got like, the Epstein list dropping, but like, really, this is what we're outraged about, is this poor girl right here. Like this Isabella, beautiful girl, making a cake. That's what's really pissed everybody off is this image. I mean, that's just wild to me, man. I can't figure these people out. And I think they really need to get their prerogatives straight or whatever it is. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on with conservative Twitter, but they really need to figure themselves out. It's starting to get really annoying. And it's not even just about, because last week I was talking about like how, it's a slippery slope. I was talking about this to Lauren Chen, on Twitter. And guess what? Lauren Chen didn't block me because Lauren Chen is a fantastic woman that can actually take criticism and can actually have a discussion, talk back about what she disagrees with instead of blocking you. But it's just like, I was having a conversation about her about Calendargate and the idea that they were calling it demonic or whatever. And I was like, explaining to her that this is exactly what happened in my country, because you don't know where it comes from. My home country, I should say, Iran, where I was born, and where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Islamics took over. And everybody was like, wait, what the fuck happened? Because have you guys seen what Iran looked like in the 70s? It sure as hell didn't look like what it looked like today. And so when they kicked out the monarchs, because we were part of a royalty, we had a monarchy. When they kicked the monarchy out and they put in the Islamics, all that went out the door. And it happened almost overnight. Like it happened so freaking fast. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, we got to now wear burqas like in the street. All the women had to cover up. And then there was women going after women and making them like shaming them and making them feel like shit, and following the government dictate, because now we're under theocracy rule. And is that really what you want? And that was my argument last week. And a lot of people call it like a straw man argument. But man, when you live that life, when you've experienced it, it's a lot more than a straw man, because it's literally what happened to my life. Like it's literally what I lived through, what my mother lived through, and what what we went through as a society. And a lot of us had to find our way out of there. And I was lucky enough to get out of that country. But it's just one of those things where you really don't think about it until it really hits you in the face. And I mean, this is less so because she's dressed. Okay. She's not even in a bikini or something. And people are freaking out. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this lady here, I mean, come on. Rachel Wilson, get it together, man. There is way more important things to worry about than, this girl. And this Rachel woman, she's out here saying like things like, that these simps, these simp armies that she's creating are just terrible. Like the men cannot control themselves, and they're just like they go and sign up to all her stuff. And we have such a problem because all these like this, she's just making thirst traps for everybody, as if men have no fucking accountability whatsoever. Nothing. It's just like what Steph was saying earlier tonight, actually, with regards to Harry and Meghan. It's as if these men have no regard, like as if Harry has no mind of his own. It's just all fucking Meghan controlling him. No. Okay. Men have a lot of accountability. Okay. So if you're a man out there and this lady right here with her big, beautiful boobs are making you feel uncomfortable and giving you a hard on, well, you have a problem. Okay. You have a problem and you need to figure that out for yourself. I'm sorry, because this is not, as far as this specific video is concerned, it's not very sexual. It's not very sexual. She just happens to have big boobs. Okay. And no, she doesn't have an OnlyFans. And no, she's not she's not a hooker or like some sort of online porno person or anything like that. She's just a regular girl on Twitter, as far as I know, in the conservative space. And now she's starting to feel politically homeless. And guess what? That's exactly what these people did. They decided to drive her out, and they're very happy about it. They're just kind of like, they're celebrating the fact that they threw her out of the conservative movement. And I find myself a little bit concerned, because I think to myself, I've talked about this before on Simpcast with Chrissy Mayer, and I think with some other girls. I think Anna has been part of that discussion, maybe Brittany Venti. But I've talked about this before, where I've said that we should bring back shaming. And I'm starting to kind of actually rethink that process, because when it comes to the left, and liberals and weirdos on the left, it makes sense to want to say, let's bring back shaming, like fat shaming and whatever else. Like, yeah, we should bring it back because it's funny and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, in a way, it makes sense in that context to like make fun of that, so that it comes out to light. But then it happens. And then you had like these conservative people, like that Rachel person, go and shame Isabella in the way that they did. And I didn't like it. I didn't like what I was seeing at all. I was like, this weird shaming thing is not a good look. It's kind of ugly. I don't like seeing it with women doing it to other women, especially. It's disgusting. And like I can understand that you would have a different perspective. I can understand that you would, maybe you don't like it, maybe you really do have a problem with it, but I don't think shaming is the way that she was shaming this girl. I just didn't like it. Rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it, and I took that reflectively, and I reflected on the inside, thinking to myself about the stuff I used to say about how we should bring back shaming, and I'm rethinking it. I'm rethinking it because I'm one of those people that constantly tries to learn from myself and other people's mistakes because I reflect on myself and on my actions, and I'm one of those people. So maybe shaming is not quite what we're thinking about, because I just don't agree. I don't agree with shaming young women like this to drive them away and into the arms of the exact opposite of what you want. Like, if this girl becomes a leftist, liberal, crazy feminist person, can you blame her? When her own party kind of mistreated her the way that they did. And you know that there's some lefties that are like, oh yeah, welcome, welcome, because we're the tolerant left and all that stuff. Do you think, like, can you blame her for wanting to go up to a place where she will feel like she belongs? I mean, at this, like, isn't that what we all want? We want a place that we belong in. We just want to find, that place wherever that may be. And if if your own people are rejecting you, isn't that like isn't that wrong? Shouldn't we be making a case to her to, try and help her improve herself? And that's what I was talking about earlier with regards to, like, we need to start thinking reflect like inwardly and exactly what's going on in our parties. Like if Americans have a problem with conservative girls doing this kind of thing, then they need better role models. They need better role models, especially in people at the top. And I'm afraid that the swamp is not going to let that happen. Now let me get a couple of these super chats. Mr. Perfect, thank you for $1.99. To help with the cake, I want a piece of her pie. My goodness, look at that very lovely individual in your icon, involved in politics, and very disgusting person. 200 Watt Studios, thank you for the $2. It says Tim Pool stream got nuked. Me stream over this. What do you mean over this? Like over Cakegate? I thought they were talking about the Epstein thing. Midstream. Tim Pool's stream got nuked midstream over this. Over what? Over Cakegate? Or over Epstein? Because I thought they were doing the Epstein thing. 200 Watt Studios for $2 says, yep, fundamentalism is bad all around. Yes, and I have a very big problem with the mental part of fundamentalism. I always say this. It's really fucked up. Epstein. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured. Of course it's going to be taken down. They don't want you guys. They don't want people to talk about that. Why would anybody want to talk about Epstein? I mean, that's why I'm not talking about it, guys. I'll be completely honest, because we're live right now on YouTube. We're live on X, actually. That's the first time. I don't know if you guys can see me live on X, but I'm live on X right now. I'm supposed to be anyways. It says I'm supposed to be live on X. Oh, look at me. I just looked at myself and I'm there. So we're live on YouTube, we're live on X, and we are live on Rumble. What's going on, Rumble over there? So yeah. So we're live on all 3 places. Anyways, I actually really like Isabella. I wish her all the best, and I have invited her on. So hopefully maybe I can get her on here as well. Maybe we can talk about everything. But she's a very sweet girl. She seems like a very nice girl. I have nothing against her. And I also have nothing against the Rachel Wilson girl. I mean, I really wish that she would have talked to me instead of just blocking me, because I feel like that's one of the problems that we're having is that is that there's no discourse. Like, people just can't talk to each other anymore. And that kind of sucks. And yes, she is single. I saw somebody asking if she's single. Yes, she's single. And yeah, she's fully admitted that she wants to find a husband. She wants to find a husband. She's conservative. Actually, she put out a really funny tweet tonight. After this, I laughed because I was just like, "This is really funny." She's a funny girl. She's got a really good sense of humor, and she's here she is. She said, "This was funny." Hang on, let me show you guys. She says, "I think I got this whole modesty thing down." I mean, come on, that's funny. That's funny. Like, she's making fun of herself. She's making fun of the situation. I like it a lot. I mean, a lot of people are saying she's got way too much forehead going on. I was gonna comment that like her hair is way too nah, like she's got to cover her hair. I mean, she's got a towel here. This should be a burqa style thing. Um, you know, she got to cover up a little bit more. But yeah, so she's making fun of the situation. And I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's a really mature thing to do. She's taking it in stride. All the very, very heavy criticism that's come out of her. She's taken it really well. And that's been something to see. The other thing that was really funny actually during this thing that was going on was what she did to this other dude. I mean, this was just hilarious on its own. I was like, what the fuck? But this was so this dude here, Aubrey Huff. Oh my God. Okay, so this Aubrey Huff guy, which apparently is like some baseball player or something. I don't know. I've never heard this guy before, but he tweeted out to her and he was criticizing her. Oh, here, let me make this bigger. And he said this cat fight between Isabella M. DeLuca and Rachel Patriarchy, that's Rachel Wilson, is proof that most today's women even know their sexuality is all they bring to the table, complete with a desperate need for attention, crippling debt, drama, delusional self-worth, and a complete lack of accountability. And then Isabella tweeted him and said, "This you?" And then she shared DMs, and this was the DM of Aubrey Huff that wrote her, "Hey, beautiful, let's collab over cocktails and bad decisions. Winky face with tongue out on Christmas." On Christmas, guys. And then once she did this, he proceeded to delete his entire Twitter account. This mofo that this guy had like over 200,000 followers. He decided to delete the entire thing over this leaked DM. And I thought it was really funny too, because okay, so at first I was like, oh wait, he probably got really, really in trouble with his wife. He probably had a wife. Everybody's on the internet now. He probably saw it. She probably saw it and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. You're DMing this chick on Christmas. And then Mark with a C actually brought this up to me and said, it says here that click link in bio to help support my alimony payments. And I was like, alimony payments? Does that mean this guy's divorced? So I went and looked into it a little bit, and apparently he is divorced. Apparently he divorced in 2012. Yeah, there we go. Paul saying the same thing. He divorced in 2012, but I'm thinking maybe he has like a girlfriend, or like a serious girlfriend or something like that. Maybe live-in girlfriend, or I don't know what they're living together, or I don't know, something. Maybe he's got a serious girlfriend and the serious girlfriend saw this and was very upset. I mean, I don't know. So, I don't know, but why would you delete at like a 200,000 account over a leaked DM like that? I'm not sure why you would do such a thing, unless you're married or seeing somebody and you got caught. You got caught with your hands in the cookie jar. 201 Studios for $5 says, but wait, I thought baking a cake in a tight sweater is going to and doing a calendar was like OnlyFans. Yeah, it is. Apparently it is. According to a lot of people, that's it. They're the same thing. They're the same thing. DL, thank you for the $1.90. Nina spitting out the facts. Well, thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Sometimes, you know, I make mistakes too. And sometimes I say stupid shit and I do stupid things because I'm a human being. But you know, I do really try to be accurate. I try to be I try to be a good human. I do try. But sometimes you know, it's difficult. Like you do judgy things. You do, you know, sometimes you get a little judgy. Like, I mean, I saw this I saw this post earlier from Tree of Logic. Shout out to Tree of Logic. I mean, she's great. But I saw this post from Tree of Logic and I kind of laughed and I was like, oh no, like maybe I shouldn't be laughing at this. Like I felt a little bad laughing at it. But then I was like, well, I mean, she made it about looks. Like, I mean, this Rachel girl made it about looks. Like, she's the one that brought up this poor like, you know, poor girl's top and being all like, you're a trad and blah blah blah. You're trying, like, you're a fake trad bitch and you're trying to like do this and do that. She called me all sorts of names. Like, she said I was dense. Rachel did. Rachel, she said I was dense, that I didn't get it, like over my tweet about, you know, comparing that whole thing with Melania Trump and everything. She called me dense. She said I was dumb. All sorts of stuff. I never said anything about her, and then she blocked me because, and I was like, well, I mean, I shouldn't, you know, like, if anybody should be blocking anybody, it should be me blocking you because you're being like disrespectful. I was never disrespectful to her. But anyways, I saw this tweet from Tree of Logic and I couldn't help but laugh because I was like, okay, this is kind of funny. Um, and this is her. So apparently this is Rachel Wilson. And because she's going off, you know, about like she's going off hard about Isabella and saying she's not really a Christian and she's not, you know, even though she's wearing a cross and everything, she's well, okay, even if she's a Christian, she's not acting in like with modesty. And the problem is not, now she's changed the goalpost though, because at first she was all like, oh, this chick is so thirsty and she's trying to get all these thirst traps and like she's setting thirst traps and like blah blah blah, like all the shit. But then she changed it to she's a thirst trap, but also like pretends to know politics, but doesn't actually know right-wing politics. And she's just there to try and like get the conservative guys to thirst for her. Basically, she has no political opinions, and all she does is like use her sexuality to get followers or whatever. So then, and I would show you guys some of the tweets, but unfortunately, again, she blocked me, so I can't show you what she's talking about. So then Tree brought this up, which is like, I think her LinkedIn profile, or like, I don't know what this is, but I think it's her LinkedIn profile. And this is her picture. And it says, Rachel Wilson is a wife and Orthodox Christian mother of 5 children. Good for her. Here's she's a homeschooling advocate who lives in the rural Midwest. I can say that. I can say that. When she's not attending to her duties to her family, to her family and church, she enjoys fitness, cooking, research history, and studying philosophy and religion. Rachel's licensed firearm instructor who specializes in home defense and concealed carry instructions. Now, fitness being underlined is funny because she doesn't look very fit. She doesn't look like she practices what she preaches. She looks like she ate the entire cake by herself many times over. So I just, you know, like I hate throwing shade at her over her looks, but she started it by throwing shade at the looks of the other girl. And I hate that behavior. And so like I felt bad about laughing at this because I was like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing at this. But then somebody else brought up that, like, you know, gluttony is a sin too. So she's talking about, like, you know, Christianity and Christian values of modesty and this, that, and the other. Well, yeah, gluttony is a sin. I know gluttony is a sin, which Rachel practices every day, but she's also a liar. So yeah, so if you're like Rachel, honey, if you're gonna throw shade at people, you gotta make sure your side is clean. If you're interested in fitness, well, try taking a gym class, or something. Either way, I'm just saying the internet can be a very, very cruel place. And Rachel has definitely been practicing in the cruelty aspect of it. And I don't really like that. Um, I don't like it at all. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, look at this. This is let's see, what is this thing? Hot girls win, ugly hoes lose. That's how it's been and always will be. Best to know your place in the hierarchy of hotness, ladies. Don't shoot the messenger, LMAO. Oh my God. Okay, let's see what this is. Somebody screenshotted this. This just showed up on my feed. This is from Mostly Peaceful Latinas. Hot girls win, ugly hoes lose. And it says, this is the New York Post covering that that whole thing about that Aubrey guy getting caught in the DMs. And she's like, you got to be kidding me. And then this guy's like, conservative thoughts win another round. It's a long game with all this exposure. She's either going to step it up and create a meaningful content, or she's going to be proven to be exactly what people thought she was. It's not up to me. And then Pearl says, I hate it here. But Rachel, you see, you're driving her away. It's up to her to start making meaningful content. She baked a fucking cake. Like, what the hell, man? Cooking videos are fine. That's adding to zeitgeist. Like, I mean, she had a recipe on there and everything. It was her own fucking cake. What does that even mean? She's going to step it up and create meaningful content. Who are you to be the judge of what's meaningful content? God, the freaking content police. Can't fucking stand these people. Speaking of content creators and lovely ones, here's Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi. I'm putting hooks into peaches right now.
Ooh, cute for the wedding.
Yeah, for the wedding. But okay, so for
Let's
this
see the
cake,
peaches. Let's see it.
so I got a bunch of jars of peaches, and I'm gonna hang them on trees, and then I got little hooks I gotta put in them. But okay, so for this baking thing, do you have Instagram? Oh,
no.
Okay, look up Ballerina Farm on Instagram. So this is like
I know her.
Yeah, I love her. I've been following her for years. But so she does baking videos too, and it's at the same angle, and everyone's like, "Oh, everyone's looking at her boobs." And it's like, well, that's because she has her phone on her counter. And
Exactly. That's what I was saying, Anna. And I was like, she's got way more ceiling. So you can tell she's either leaning her camera against something, or if it's on a tripod, it's not angled the right way. So when you look at the cake video that she's done for Twitter, on the Twitter one, there's way too much ceiling. So if she had brought down the camera a little bit, it would have focused more on her and the bowl. Like if it was on up to the top of her head. But I was basically saying the same thing you are. And you're right. This woman is doing the same thing. And she's literal trad wife.
Well,
she's got different angles.
Yeah, she'll do it at different angles to make it interesting. But there'll be some where she's literally just standing there, and it's from the angle at her. It's usually when the video's with her kids. So the one with her and Mabel right there, the baby that she's holding. So
this one?
Yeah, so that one's on a tripod, but she'll do a lot where it's just right there and it's showing that angle.
Yeah, the mid-drift angle.
Yeah, sometimes on her birthday post, I'll have to go through and find one. But I was like, she does it all the time and nobody gives her shit. When she just sets her phone down.
A lot of people do it all the time. It's so stupid. This whole thing is so dumb that they're shitting on this girl. And then they're and a lot of it too is like most people don't understand that big boob girls can't wear the same outfits that like small boob girls wear. Like because
Yeah.
like big boob girls just look different in a
'Cause
lot
if
of
she
different
was
things.
flat chested, nobody would have said anything.
Nobody would have said a fucking word. I promise you, no one would have said a word. Um, let's see. 200 Watt Studios. Oh wait, I got that one. Thank you. Max McDonald, thank you so much for the 10. Nina is part of the issue. Nina is part of the issue. The assumption anyone right wing or conservative is religious. I think many are just anti-war or libertarian, even not Bible Belt type people. Okay.
I don't know. I block anyone that posts politics that I don't know personally. And when it came to the calendar gate shit, everyone was like, she has a crucifix. She's going to hell. And I'm like, I didn't know there was it really reminds me of when you post like how the Islam stuff in
Yeah.
Iran.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is just the Christian version of it. I'm like, oh my God.
It
There's a lot of
literally is.
self-righteous, perfect people in the world.
So much like that. Exactly. There's just so much like virtue signaling all the time. It's like they all think they're so virtuous. And it's like, okay, are you though? Like, have you sinned? Because I'm
I
sure you have.
know. It's like people that do that on social media. I'm like, I want to know what skeletons are in your closet. Because right now, like she's what, 23? I'm like,
Yeah.
instead she doesn't have an OnlyFans. She doesn't I mean, I see her post like stuff that it's like obviously like bait for because she goes viral on Twitter all the time, which I'm like, whatever, do your thing, girl. But
Yeah.
I'm like, she's not doing anything wrong or to hurt anyone. So, but they're
Yeah,
so
but
angry.
they're saying that that is doing it to hurt people. Like, and the hurt is basically her setting these like traps for men and like trapping them, which I don't even get because if she like she doesn't even have OnlyFans, so what is she trapping exactly? Like
I
they're
know.
not paying her for money to make content or whatever. So what exactly is she trapping? Excuse me, I don't get it. Like I don't get their logic. It makes no sense. Thank you for this super sticker, Meg. I can't say your name. Thank you, something the pixie. Thank you so much. 200 Watt Studios. Thank you for the $2. Rachel enjoys fitness cake in her mouth. Wow. Thank you, 200 Watt. And also 200 Watt Studio. I hate throwing shade, but she got lots more shade. Oh my god. We're talking about that Rachel girl that's like going off at me. But by the way,
Rachel Zegler?
No, Rachel Wilson. She's the one that was like basically like going down. Oh no, that was terrible phrasing. Going at Isabella really hard about this cake thing. Like she's the one that was like majorly making a big deal out of it.
How old is she?
And she's older and she's like 5 kids.
That's why.
Yeah, and and I just showed this, and this is why, like, I think this is why 200 Watt Studios is making fun of her a little bit. But I mean, I felt bad because I was like, I don't like making fun of people's looks, but she started it by like making fun of
Let's see it.
Isabella, and she was all like, this chick is like she's all boob and blah blah blah. And like so Tree said that this
Oh
chick enjoys
no.
fitness.
Oh no. Yep. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. Okay, I have never been called ugly by a pretty girl. Right? Anytime a girl calls me ugly or insults my looks, they look like that. Or it's like the male feminist version of that.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Every time. Every time. And but the funny part is that it says she enjoys fitness. And so Tree's saying like,
What
gluttony.
kind of
Yeah, like gluttony is a sin. And because she's going off on like how, Rachel is so lustful and like she's creating lust in men and she's part of the problem. And like instead of making a cake, she's putting her tatas in the camera and like
she's
making men lust
insecure
after
because
her.
she can't do it anymore. Or she could
And
never.
I think it's also what you just said, that that Rachel goes viral all the time just by being pretty and like
Isabella.
being her, or sorry, Isabella goes viral all the time just by being pretty and just by being herself. And this girl, I think she just had enough and was like, no, like she can't be going like viral for another cake. Like, what? Like, I can't take this anymore.
Well, she used to post all the time, like, oh, like things like I've done for my future husband, or like it was always like something, and then my future husband, like I'll never do this because my future husband. And I saw like a lot of like girls would get mad about that. It's always like certain types of women that get mad at her posts. Like there was
like, because she's playing that role. She's playing the trad role or whatever, and that's that's a thing now. Like there's like a whole thing for it. People are looking for that.
I thought it was funny one time she's like, I'm going back to my brunette hair because that's the hair color that God gave me. And then a few weeks later, she's like, I'm back to blonde.
She wasn't getting as much attention probably as a brunette.
No, she was beautiful as a brunette, but I do think that she looks better blonde. It works with her, I think.
It just works better with her probably. 201 Studios, thank you for the 5. Says, I sat down during a storm while Rachel stood in front of me facing the rain. I never got wet.
All right. I have brownies in the oven, so I'm going to go take those out.
Are they magic brownies?
No, they're full of raisins, so nobody else will eat them but me. I'll be right back.
Okay. Go. I'm going to get these super chats so when Anna comes back, we can talk about Star Wars, because that's a thing too. 200 Watt Studios for $5 says, oh wait. Okay, no. Damn it, 200 Watt Studios, you're being bad. 200 Watt Studios for $5. I saw Rachel eat at a buffet for an hour. They ran out of food. My goodness, so many jokes. 8K Robbie, thank you for the 5. There's so few honest people left in this whole content creator influencer space. Between the promo code clan, the trad morons, you and Anna rock. Oh, thank you. Yeah, dude, the promo code clan. I love that. That is hilarious because that was like another dude that was calling her out was Jeremy from the Quartering. And I was like, shut up, dude. You do the same thing. Like, and he's man boobs. So he needs to shut the fuck up. Because and Jeremy, I love you, man, but shut up. Let's see, because it says the Quartering. Hang on, let me pull this up. The Quartering. He's been going off about this girl. I was like, what are you doing taking this side? Because you do this. You make content. Like, you're not a sexy woman, but you know sex sells. You're in marketing. Like, so why are you shaming her? And then he like tweeted this out. And he was like, nobody cares that you're using your tits for clicks. Just stop pretending you're not using your tits for clicks. Then we can all be friends again. She never said anything like that. Like, she never confirmed or denied that she was making that type of content. She just says she doesn't do OnlyFans, and that she just makes a cake. But she does have political beliefs. Like, I'm talking about Isabella.
Oh, Isabella still? Okay.
Yeah, because she does have political beliefs. Like, I scrolled through her timeline.
No, she's like super right wing, but
yeah, she's super right wing. She talks about abortion. She talks about she talks about certain things that are very right wing, talking points. So it's not like she doesn't have them. And then for him to come out and be like, oh, just stop pretending you're not using your tits for clicks, then we can all be friends again. That's just fucking dumb, man. Because she's just using her sexuality as a bonus point for her. So which is fine. She's hot. Why shouldn't she use her sexuality?
Well, she's young and single, and she is trying to find a husband and showing like, hey, I still look good in a t-shirt and I know how to bake. I mean, I was just telling my stepdaughter, I'm like, all boys want in life is food and boobs. That's it.
True.
It's the easiest recipe in the world. Like, And
It's
she's
true.
like, "Well, yeah, but, like, you guys fight." And I was like, "And guess what happens when we end the fight?" She's like, "Oh, you guys eat." And I was like, "Yes." And we didn't even address the boobs thing. But I was like, "That's it. That's all a boy needs to be happy is food and boobs, and that's it." Well, we were talking about Chainsaw Man because Peaches doesn't understand, like, it. And so I was like, "It's just a guy, and all he wants is a girlfriend that and he can eat bread and jam with, and she'll maybe let him touch her boobs." That's all he wants. That's his goal in life.
That's
Food and boobs.
amazing. Of course, that's anime for you. 201 Studios, $5. Says I knew every time Rachel was walking up to the buffet because the water in my glass vibrated like in Jurassic Park. Oh my god, 200 Watt Studios. Oh
Oh my
no.
god, she posted a video of her brushing her teeth and getting ready for bed.
The other girl did?
Isabella.
Isabella? Oh my god, let's pull it up. I
Here.
think they project their own shame for sins, Metastep says. I think you're right, Metastep. I think you're absolutely on it with that one. I think there's a lot of shame. Oh my god, okay. So excited about this video. Let's see. Oh, she's getting ready for bed, guys.
Can't remember how to say.
Oh no, she's in the frame. Look at her boobs.
Mhm.
There's so much of it.
She's not using tripod, she just has it sitting there.
Yeah,
That's
she
it.
just has it sitting there. Oh my god. The lip scrub. Oh my god, she's showing her lips into the camera.
I like how
Oh
she's just
my god.
laughing.
She like her top is like all wet. She's like laughing. She's like, I'm ready. Good for her. Good for her.
Dude, have you been watching all this Epstein stuff?
Oh my god, I was kind of. Apparently the Timcast got taken down for talking about Epstein.
Oh,
So
okay.
we shouldn't talk too much about it. But I did see that
Alright.
Jimmy Kimmel was apparently on the list, and I think that's funny.
Were you surprised by anyone's name that was on
No.
there? Yeah, I know.
Not
That's a
not a
sad thing.
single one is surprising to me. Not a single one. Saw one, thank you for 11-month member message. Thank you so much. Says, hi, Nina and Anna. You two are amazing. And Anna, you look nice with a hat on. And Nina, you look good with the dark hair. Your lights making it look darker. Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, my lights are weird today. And yes, Anna, you look adorable in that hat. What is that hat? Do I know
It's
the logo?
Deathly Hallows from Harry Potter.
Oh, that's what it is. Because it looks familiar. And I was like, what
Yeah.
is that hat?
My hair's all crazy right now. Yeah, I went to the beach today, so I had my hair braided and the hat on because it's the only if not, it's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, I do. I always do that too when I go to the beach. Gotta do the braid and the hat.
Sometimes I'll do the pony, but this was just easier today.
Your hair is so pretty and long. I
Thanks,
love it.
Gigi.
I know.
I got them tightened yesterday, so my head hurts so bad.
Aw. Did you get colors put in too? Because you look like there's like a tiny bit of kind of like not red, but I don't know. I can't tell what that is.
So that's my real hair. So this is my real
that's
hair.
your real hair. Oh,
Yeah, she
okay.
didn't tone it this time, so that's like the layer because they thin out your hair so it blends in better. But if my hair's not curled, you can really tell where my hair is versus where the extensions are.
Gotcha. I like it though. It looks cool.
Yeah, after the wedding, I'm going back to my highlights and everything. I have so much white hair, and I'm like, ugh.
Really? Are you gonna go short again? Are you gonna take off your
No,
extensions?
I'm just gonna
after the wedding?
I'm just gonna get new extensions.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mac McDonald, for the $5. On Twitter, I saw the new Star Wars creator delighted in saying, "I like to make men uncomfortable." I would guess her Star Wars will fail then. And on this note, we're going to talk about Star Wars because that's why Anna's here as well, because I wanted to get her thoughts on what's going on with Star Wars, because apparently Star Wars is the new news. I didn't think that was even possible anymore because everything with Star Wars sucks so much. But let's watch a couple of these videos so that you guys can be familiar with who we're talking about. So Matt Walsh posted this today. You know what? Let's start with the other one that you brought up first. This other one on the news. Okay, we're gonna start with that one and then we'll watch the other one. So here is the new director of
and the
Star
first
Wars.
person of color, also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmina Bechinoy.
Ah!
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story
She's
in
the
a galaxy
worst.
far, far away.
Also the
Okay. So remember when Patty Jenkins was announced that she was going to direct a Star Wars movie? And
Mhm.
at that point, nobody was mad because she
Mhm.
directed one good Wonder Woman movie. And then
Yeah.
the second one came out and everyone just like, oh, we're just going to forget about her. But nobody was mad about that. Everyone's like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah, she's directed a movie before that pretty much everybody liked.
Mhm. Like, let's see what she does.
But now she's like, oh, woman, first time a woman. I'm like, fake geek girls.
I know, fake geek girls for real. And you also brought the fact that George Lucas's wife was
Mhm.
heavily involved with the original Star Wars, but we're not going to count that because the new generation is forgets history and forgets what the fuck actually came before all the time. I mean, to be fair, through no fault of their own, because that's what Disney's been trying to do. Disney's been trying to destroy the history of Star Wars, and what came before was even part of their marketing for The Last Jedi when they were like, let the past die, kill it. So this is Matt Walsh posted this one, and see, and this is the kind of shit that I think like Matt Walsh does for clicks, and I mean it bothers
I
me a
haven't
little
watched
bit.
this, so
Oh, you haven't watched this?
I haven't.
Okay, this is great. So we're gonna watch this clip together, but it bothers me a little bit because Matt Walsh, a political right wing commenter, usually comments about like stuff that's right wing issues like abortion or trans issues or stuff like that. But then he comes out and says stupid shit like how anime is demonic and all the stupid crap that he says all the time. And then all of a sudden he chimes in for Star Wars because here's a feminist director of the next Star Wars film saying that her goal is to make men uncomfortable. This movie is destined to be Disney's biggest flop yet. It's like, thanks, Matt, for really like coming in real late to the party.
does it too sometimes. Like they just comment out of nowhere, which I'm like, I get it. Like sometimes
They're doing it
people-
for clicks.
They are, but I mean, a lot of people like Star Wars. When it comes to him, though, I don't know. I saw a picture of him without a beard, and so now every time his face is like on my screen or somebody mentions that, I just think about that picture and it just makes me laugh.
Who, Matt Walsh or Shapiro? Because he's never had
Oh,
a
Matt
beard.
Walsh, Matt Walsh.
Oh, that's
Google
fine.
him a picture. You'll never be able to unsee this photo, Nina, if you see it.
I gotta see it. You gotta send it to me. Raider, thanks for the 50. Amazing. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. But like Matt Walsh, like this has been viewed 6.2 million times. He does this stuff because he knows it gets clicks. And like, it's annoying. It's like whatever. But who cares? No one's gonna like call this dude out for like doing basically like pop culture clickbait. Like
Yeah.
it's just oh no.
That's him
He's
without a
a lot
beard.
younger than he used to be.
I don't know. It makes me laugh. Like this
That's
photo.
a younger version of him though, right? Because it's
Yeah,
not,
of course, but
it's not right now.
it lives in my head rent free. So whenever I see like this, I just think about this, and I'm just like, oh my god.
He
Oh.
looks so different.
Oh.
Oh no.
It just,
Yeah, he's got a very straw. He needs the beard. He
Yeah.
needs the beard. He does. He does.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, you know what? Better late than never. Welcome to the party, pal, Matt Walsh.
What is the balance of activate?
By the way, I just wanted to also point out that
Oh, I hate
Stewart,
that
Jon
woman in the
Stewart
middle.
here.
I hate her.
Oh, her?
Ava DuVernay.
Yeah, that's
Oh
Ava
my.
DuVernay, and this is Meryl Streep.
I
How the
love
fuck
Meryl Streep.
Streep's doing
You know
there?
what? I like Meryl Streep because I don't know anything about her outside of her movies, and I want to keep it that way. I don't want to know if she's married, how many children she has, her opinions on anything. I love Meryl Streep in movies. I want to keep her. I want to be ignorant of anything she's ever done outside of them. But
Okay, then I won't destroy her for you.
thank
then.
you. Ava DuVernay. Oh my God. I have never seen a more entitled fucking cunt in my entire life. Okay, I like to watch like documentaries or like people like that talk about their process that are currently working in the film industry. And so fuck, what is his name? The dude, I don't know how this dude sleeps. He wrote Legion, like the TV show Legion. I don't know. He writes like 7 fucking books a year and does TV shows. Oh my God. I cannot think of his name. Somebody will tell me. But so he's sitting at a table, like a round table, and she's there and she's just glaring at him because he's the only like white guy at the table. And it's a bunch of like, diversity people, including
Diversity hires.
and they're talking about like all of the things that he's done and all of his accomplishments and then all of the awards that he's gotten. And he's like, no, I just like to work. Like I live to do all of this and, just talking about it. 100% professional, just talking about his work. No virtue signaling, no nothing. He just works. And she's just sitting there like this.
Of course she is.
I'm changing the film industry because I'm a woman of color. And it's like, you failed.
Yes. All these people are so weird. And I want to point out that Jon Stewart, like, honestly, this is embarrassing for Jon Stewart. Because
Noah Hawley, I think is his name. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I think this is just embarrassing for Jon Stewart because it's like he's sitting there basically being demeaned by a bunch of women. And he's fine with it. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Cause he's like such a male feminist and it's just pathetic. Like, it's kind of like, God, it's just such a loser thing to be like, to even ask this question. I was like, Jon Stewart, like, have some fucking self-respect, bro.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Why? Because you're fat.
Not you. Just not you. Not you.
What?
I said why? Because you're fat and ugly.
That's why she's not changing herself in any way whatsoever.
Point taken. Point taken.
Wait. Look at this. Degrading men and then being like, oh, like, except for you, like, not you, Jon Stewart, because you're a male feminist and you're sitting there like basically fucking dissing yourself and making yourself look like an absolute fucking retard fool. You're fine, John.
Making men uncomfortable. Not you. Just not you. Not you.
Point taken. Point taken.
But it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection. And then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
Oh my God. I feel like her refrigerator needs to sit her down and have that conversation with her.
I feel like she needs to have that conversation with herself in the mirror. It's like, it's like that Michael Jackson song, like "Man in the Mirror." It's like, girl, come on now. Let's talk about this because I brought up today that Star Wars has been in control of a woman for a pretty long time now. Like, how long has it been now, Anna?
Over a decade. Actually, it was a decade. This past year was a decade. 2013.
Wow.
No,
It's been a
2012. George Lucas
decade.
sold. So
It's been
yeah,
a
11
decade.
years.
Wow. It's been like 11 years since Kathleen Kennedy has had power over Star Wars. She is the head of Lucasfilm, and she's the head of basically Star Wars. And she's the one that's hired all of these different men that have been in charge of Star Wars, like J.J. Abrams, like Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams again, because apparently they couldn't find anybody else to do the third movie. They had to go back to fucking J.J. because, well, you guys know it's fucking history. But my point is that it's been in the hands of this woman, and she's been on a freaking rant about how Star Wars is, the Force is female, and Star Wars it's time for a new generation of women to enjoy Star Wars. This has been going on for a freaking decade now, and then now we're like all of a sudden, as if it's brand new, we're being told like this woman's going to be directing a Star Wars film, and we're going to, jump up and down in joy because women have never touched a Star Wars property or something like that. This is so ridiculous, Anna. Please go on a rant or something.
I mean, there's nothing really much more for me to say. Nobody's going to go watch it. I didn't go and see Rise of Skywalker. I watched it on Twitter. Somebody posted it on fucking Twitter, and I was able to just sit here and watch it on Twitter, and I live tweeted my reaction.
That's how I watched it. I watched your live tweet of your reaction. That's how I watched it. Because I didn't watch the fucking movie.
It was, I mean, I'm so glad I didn't spend money on it, because I remember watching The Last Jedi, and I was just like, I was so angry. Like, this has got to be a prank. And I watched it twice because the first time I had a couple drinks, I was like, maybe I was drunk and I saw things that weren't there. And I was like, this is fucking worse sober. But the Rise of Skywalker, holy shit, that was bad. What? Oh, yay. What we need is more girl power, because that went so fucking well.
Anna, do you think they're actually going to make this movie?
I think
I mean, they're making a big deal about it. They're like, the first female director, but they made a big deal out about with what's her name too. You're right. They made a big
Patty
deal
Jenkins, and then it just went away. No, either this is going to be one of those things where they announce and then they just slowly stop talking about it, or, I mean, at this point, I'm like, they have to be laundering money.
They gotta be, right? I mean, check it out. Undoomed in the chat. What's going on?
What's up, dude?
She's like, sure. He's like, surely. A movie directed by Identity Politics grandma will save Star Wars, right?
I know.
Right, guys? Right? Somebody?
So bad.
It's bad. Nick, thank you. Nick Skyberg, thank you for the $5. Says Tim pulled his own stream. I guess guest made a threat to someone, so he pulled it preemptively. Oh, okay. So they didn't. Okay. So that YouTube didn't take him down for the Epstein thing. 200 Watt Studios, get your facts straight, man.
So we can talk about the list.
Because 200 Watt Studio told me they took it down midstream. I gotta find a good clip for 200 Watt Studios. There we go.
How dare you?
Maybe it got taken down for like something else midstream, or maybe they had a glitch, but yeah, I don't know. Like, this, back to Star Wars. I just, at this point, I'm like, fucking do it. You're just gonna make me more money.
Exactly.
everyone's dead now. Like Luke dead, Han Solo dead, Carrie Fisher dead. Who
Dead.
else are they going to touch? Lando? Oh, they already fucked him up. Like they fucked up everyone.
Everybody's
they fucked
fucked.
up Ahsoka. They fucked up Anakin. Like what? Just at this point, just
Kenobi,
fucking do it.
Obi-Wan's done.
Yep.
Like,
Just
who's
fucking do
left?
it, and I will sit back and I will watch and I will make money.
Oh, they're gonna finally say C-3PO is gay. I mean, they can
Oh,
say that. There we go.
shocking.
Like they're gonna be like, oh no, C-3PO is gay. Like that's the next thing. I guess that's gonna. Well, I mean, what else is left? What else is left? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like basically because it's not old Star Wars characters anymore. Vader is gone. Yeah, like pretty much everybody's done. So new Star Wars stuff because they're gonna do. I mean, it's gonna be fucking Rey. I mean, I don't know what the hell it's gonna be about. Who cares? I hate this. I hate Disney Star Wars so much. John Vickery, thank you for the $4.99. Do you think Filoni will change the direction of Lucasfilm? How much influence and change can Dave Filoni have in the industry under the Disney umbrella? This is a good question for you, Anna.
No,
Please.
Filoni's an idiot. He's got his heart on for Ahsoka. It will be all about Ahsoka, and that's it.
As far as I know, Dave Filoni's a fucking retard too. So I don't know. I mean, he's ruined a lot of stuff too. So
I don't like, as somebody that grew up on a ranch, unless you're like a girl going out for like a bachelorette party, you don't have any business wearing a cowboy hat when you're not a fucking cowboy. It's a big pet peeve of mine. That dude he is a male feminist. So, I mean, and I don't like the stuff that he's done with Star Wars, especially now that he's not working with George Lucas.
R2D2 non-binary in the new movie. Okay.
They're fucking droids. It doesn't matter.
I know, because
who the fuck cares?
That's why it's funny, Anna. Because it's a fucking droid.
Oh my god.
They are non-binary because they're droids. What? Drunk 3PO's gay? Yes. That's exactly what I said. Oh no. But the droids need to be binary unless they have quantum computing in that universe. Hey, that's a good point. Shadow Warchild, that's a good point. Raider, thanks again for the 50, man. That was very generous of you. Man, I honestly didn't think we were going to be talking about Star Wars anytime soon because Star Wars is a fucking mess. Like everybody just, I mean, nothing
I'm
has
gonna
come
make
out.
3 videos on it tonight.
You are?
No, I can pull the whole, like, I'll make a video about each. I could do it. I could talk for 10 minutes about each little clip that's come out about this woman. I can do that, but
you should. Why not?
I can, but I have a wedding that I need to do, and I stupidly decided
you
it would
gotta
be
hook
great.
some peaches.
I decided it would be a great idea to do all my own decorations, which don't ever fucking do.
I don't know. I don't know why you did that, Anna. You should have consulted with me, and I would have told you, Anna, that's stupid. You can't do that because you're gonna stress the fuck out. And weddings are not supposed to be stressful for the bride.
It is the most stressful thing I've ever done in my entire life.
I don't know why nobody told you. What is your mom doing, Sandy? Girl, you should have told her. Don't make your own decorations. Can't do it. Can't do it.
I don't know. I work well under pressure though, so I'll get it all done. But right now I got a bag of peaches. I got jars of peaches. I got lots of peaches in my house, and everyone thinks that I'm dumb because my theme is peaches.
How does Peaches feel about the Peaches theme?
He does not care. He's like, nobody's going to understand. I'm like, I'm going to tell them all in my speech. And then everyone's mad because I said everyone in the wedding party has to give a speech. And they're like, why? And I'm like, for his side, I'm like, it's your brother's wedding. Like, what do you mean, why? You're not going to say something about your baby brother? And they just like looked at me. They're like, yeah, I'm not talking. I was like, if you're not talking, then you're not coming.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, traditionally, it's supposed to be just the best man, right? And like,
I don't care.
The best man and the bridesmaids traditionally, right? So, but you're making it like everyone has to do it.
Every wedding I have been to, everyone in the bridal party talks. And they just
Ah.
pass the microphone around. That is my favorite part of weddings is the speeches. So I'm like, somebody said bridezilla. This is the only thing I've asked of anyone.
Aw, it's her day, guys. It's her day. She's allowed.
And I told my dad, I was like, you have to talk. And my dad is so shy. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I was like, well, Dad, if you don't talk, you have to sit next to Mom. And he's like, I'll talk. And then I told my mom and she got so mad. She's like, why wouldn't your dad want to sit next to me? And I'm like, you left him.
Oh my God. I mean, hasn't it been a long time since they're
Yes,
like,
but still, like, I wouldn't want to sit next to the person that like left me and my children.
I mean, that's true. Undoom says, I actually look forward to the reviews of the movie, not the movie itself.
I agree.
I mean, that's the funny part, I guess. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna be watching it. I'll be watching the reviews. Most people will be like, "You're stupid. You should go and make YouTube content about it." But I can't do that to myself, man. I feel like I'm getting cancer every time I watch one of these movies.
It's all
Like, it's
part
like
of the job, Nina.
I
Listen,
know.
I
It's
had
like
to watch the Marvels for Flash.
I didn't do it. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
You know
Hey,
what?
Chris
Nina?
Moore is here.
Oh, what's up, Chris?
Bridezilla -1.
Listen, I don't ask for help from people. And they keep saying they're like, if you need help, just ask. I'm like, no, because you'll do it wrong and I'll get mad at you. But the one thing I ask is that I want you to talk at the wedding. That apparently is
That's too much. You're asking for public speaking, Anna. People are uncomfortable.
all of them can public speak well.
Oh, they can. Oh, never mind. I mean, I don't know. Some shy people are usually like, I can't publicly speak. Like they go all like weird and anxiety and crazy. But if they're public speakers, just generally speaking, I don't know why they're like being like that. That's funny.
Are you gonna talk? We're gonna do the open mic at the end.
Hell yeah, I'll talk. You give me the mic, I'll talk. I'll be like, girl, I'm like such a talker. Like I'll be like at the wedding, like all like I'm like, Peaches, I barely know you. It's nice. It's nice that I'm here. Just give me the mic. I'll talk. Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Will Russell Hall get to talk?
No. Russell is not allowed anywhere near my wedding.
Oh my God. I officially RSVP'd today.
I saw that.
I was so excited. I was like, yay, we're officially RSVP'd. And I officially got to see what the groom looked like for the first time. And he's not a peach. Like he's not an actual peach, guys. He's a human being. With all that entails. Good looking guy. She's not lying. He's actually good looking. And I was like, oh, this is nice. See Peaches. Very, very sweet, very sweet. I'm looking forward to the wedding. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It is in Northern California though. Oh, that's one of the things is like I have to get like a whole new wardrobe for your wedding. Because it's not like the dress, because obviously I have to get a dress to come to your wedding because it's a wedding, but also to come to Northern California and in February. I'm a little concerned because I literally have like no winter clothes at all. So I'm like, everything I have is like Cancun beachwear. Like I have nothing. Like what am I supposed to wear over there?
Right now, the way the weather was looking, it was sunny and 60 degrees on Christmas. I think you'll be fine. I'll let
60 degrees. Let's see, 60 degrees.
Oh, do you do metric system? Is that?
Yeah, I'm Canadian. 15. Yeah, that's what it was 15 here the other night.
And you're
for the first time, and I was freezing. I was like, I'm cold. Like I was like shivering. I had to like put on a sweater. Like I was like, oh my God, if it gets like colder than this in February, Northern California, I'm gonna be fucked. Like I'm gonna have to actually get some nice.
Well, everywhere will be heated. Like the church will be heated. The actual reception will be heated. So.
Oh, that's good to know. So we're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm always cold. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good to know. I'll still have to like buy some boots or something though. I literally have like only sandals and I have nothing.
Did you see the dress code for the wedding?
formal wear. And no black. I know that. No black dress.
Yep. And no jeans.
Fake
Which
Canadian.
apparently is so many people are mad at me. They're like, what do you mean I can't wear jeans? Can I wear shorts? And I'm like, no, it's a wedding.
Jeans? Who wants to wear jeans? It's called formal wear.
A lot of the guys will wear like jeans and a button-up shirt and like a blazer and a cowboy hat. And I said, absolutely not.
You're not getting married in Texas. Like, you're
I
getting
know.
married in California. You're not a Texan. Just, guys, put on a fucking suit for like 5 minutes and shut up. Like, seriously. It's like, it's not that hard to just put on a freaking suit. Jeans at a wedding. I know. That's
what I said. Apparently,
unreal.
a lot of people are angry about that. And then they're like, wait, Anna said no black, like no black pants. I said, no, it says black dresses, no black dresses. And then my uncle, or Peach's uncle, but basically my uncle, he always wears shorts. And he's like, I'm going to wear shorts. You didn't say no shorts. I was like, ah, shit. But so he has a dog that's pregnant right now. And I was like, if you bring those puppies to my wedding, you can wear whatever you want.
Oh my God. I hope there's puppies at the wedding. I'll be so excited because I love puppies. Okay, let's see. Did we want to talk about anything else, Anna, before we call it a night?
It's up to you. Whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, wait, what is this? Chris Gore sent me a photo. What is this? Okay, let's see. Chris Gore is sliding into my DMs, guys. Don't worry, it's not a dick pic. It's this. When you see Disney Star Wars for exactly what it is. This dude's happy. He says, my heroes won. The Empire has fallen. Luke has passed the tests and redeemed his father. Han and Leia have a budding romance. And the new Republic will bring order and peace to the universe. Aw, yeah. And then Luke failed as a Jedi, and teacher, Han and Leia divorced. Their son became a Sith and died. Han and Leia and Luke all died estranged. The New Republic is weak and corrupt. Palpatine's lineage survived and thrived. Finn didn't even get to be a Jedi.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is. And that's why I can't watch it.
Disney Star Wars.
That's why it causes me cancer. Because I literally, like, this is exactly how I feel. Like, when I watch the old ones, I'm like, I'm happy. And then when I don't, I feel like a drug addict, fucking, meth head. That's exactly what it feels like to watch Disney Star Wars. Thank you for that, Chris Gore. Very, very apt. What's going on, Carmen? How you doing? We talked about Cakegate already, Carmen. That was a thing. It's already happened. Let's see. Did I want to talk about anything else? Yeah, the Epstein list. I don't know if I want to talk about it just because I don't feel like risking the channel. I literally have one more day until this damn strike goes away. So if I want to do like an Epstein thing, I'll probably do one on Rumble at some point, especially when like all the like the names are all already out now, but when it's collected in one place, because I went to the place where you're supposed to like look at it, and I was like, oh my God, there's like all these files and everything. And I was like, what am I supposed to freaking do with this? Like, I'm just gonna wait until somebody actually puts it out on Twitter or something. Undoom says, congratulations on your upcoming wedding, Anna. Happy for you.
Thank you. I know. I'm kind of like, I picked the month of love, which is February. And I'm kind of like, that's really soon. That's like a month away.
Oh my God.
I'm so nervous. I'm like, fuck, everything's going to go wrong.
No, don't feel like that. Like, everything's going to go great. Everything's going to go great. Just have the attitude. Everything's going to go great. And whatever doesn't, just have fun with it. Like just try.
Yeah, everyone tells me, they're like, no one will know but you. And I'm like,
exactly. Nobody will know but you, because you're the only one that knows what it's supposed to be planned. Like, there was so many things that, like, I went to my friend's wedding like a couple of years ago. And after I was talking to the bride, she was like, what did you think of everything? Like, is everything okay? And I was like, the only thing that wasn't great was the photographer. Everything else was great. And she was like so mad about the photographer. And then, but she was like, there was so many things wrong. And I was like, I didn't notice anything wrong except for the photographer. The photographer
What did
was
the
terrible.
photographer do?
The photographer was very unprofessional, and they had a setup like in front of like the where you're supposed to take photos, because you know how like you're supposed to take photos or whatever.
Mhm.
And they had like this like sign above the head that says "Together Forever" or whatever. And the guy, when he was taking the photos, like wasn't even like making it center. So like the "Together Forever" sign or whatever, like should be above like the bride and groom's head, and then like everybody else like to the side. And the guy that was taking the pictures, like you could like some of the pictures like it was cut off, like the sign was cut off. Some of the pictures like wasn't centered. Some of the pictures like they were like standing to the side. Like the one I took with her, like we weren't even underneath the sign. We were like, actually, I have the photo. It's on my Instagram. I pull it up. And then like
Right.
some of the photos, like I actually had to go in and edit it for her. Because I was like, just send me the photos, like I'll edit it for you. So like her like picture with like her in-laws and everything like that. Like I actually had to go and edit it for her because it was like so bad. And she was not happy with that whole thing.
Yeah,
I
I had like a couple photographers, and then like none of them can do it, and I'm like, ugh. And so I'm looking
Wait,
at one.
Dylan's not gonna do your photography for the
Dylan's
wedding?
coming as a guest. Dylan doesn't shoot events.
Okay. Okay, see this? Like the "Better Together" sign?
Yeah.
See how we're like standing to the side kind of? Like we're
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be
He couldn't tell you to take a step over.
No, and this isn't even like the worst one. Like this was actually like okay. And I was like, fine. Like all of the other ones were terrible. And like I took some of these like signs and stuff like that and I fixed them for her. Like there was ones where like the photo was cut off, like it was like halfway through the sign. And like so I went in and like took one of the "Better Together Forever" ones out, like of one of the best photos they had, and I started putting it in like the other photos that had fucked it up. And like you know how like you edit the photo so it looks like, you know, real photo.
Mhm.
And like so I had done like a lot of those things for her. And then there was other stuff, like because there was, you know, on this side there was like a nightstand, and on this side there was like a nightstand, and like
Mhm.
a bunch of other stuff and things like that. And they just did not know what they were doing. They just didn't like take the picture properly or like center it or tell us like to look down, to look up. Like it was just not a good photographer. A good photographer matters in a wedding. And like he didn't go around to capture like what's it called? Like candid shots. Cause you're supposed to go around and like do candid
Yeah.
photos with like the whatever. We didn't even get a candid shot of our table. I was like, I wanted like, cause you have tables and like every table had like a
Mhm.
different like sect of people in their lives or whatever. Like, and we like our table were like of our crew, like our basically like my extended family in Cancun, like all of our friends were like at the same table. And I was like, you know, why didn't we get one fucking photo together? Like, except for the ones that were on our phones. Like, we took like phone pictures, but we wanted like actual pictures. And I wasn't taking many photos because I thought that we were going to have like an actual photography photo. Nothing. The guy didn't do candid shots, nothing. I was like, this sucks. Anyway, my friend was pissed off about the photographer, but there was other stuff too that she thought was like wrong with her wedding. But I was like, no, I didn't notice anything else wrong with it except for
him.
that, yeah, photographer thing. And then she was like, "Really? Like you didn't notice this and this and this and this and this?" And then I was just like, "Nope." Like
And
I
now I
didn't care.
do.
Like now that you're saying I'm noticing it, but like no, not you get what you pay for. That's very true. That is very true. She should have paid more. I would have. Excuse me. Okay. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Anna, for coming by. Yeah, you are awesome. We're gonna have so much fun at your wedding.
Heck
It's gonna be so
yeah.
Thank you, everybody out in the chat for watching tonight. And of course, special extra thank you to my girl, Steph, the alternate nerd, for being here. The first hour of the show, that was super fun. That was a really, really fun time to hang out with Steph. And thank you again for coming on, Steph, and giving me your time and everything. So thank you again to the chat. You guys are amazing. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all that good stuff. Thank you to those of you who watched over on Rumble. You guys are awesome. And of course X as well, because we were streaming on X. So if you're watching over on X, thank you for that. And until next time, you guys have a great day. And Anna, do you have anything coming up you want to plug before we go?
I might do a painting stream later on Twitch.
Okay, there you go. And you at the Jack Show tomorrow, right? Where's
Yeah.
Jack Show at? Tomorrow?
Yes, I believe so.
Where is it at tomorrow?
My channel.
Anna's channel tomorrow, Thursday, for the Jack Show. Be there or be square. Until next time, you guys, have a good one. Bye.